In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs are getting ready for their summer league. Training camp starts today. They begin their summer at the California Classic. This is Saturday the 5th. They're going to face Miami, then Golden State on Sunday the 6th. Wrap it up on Tuesday the 8th against the Lakers. Then it's off to Vegas, where their play begins on the 10th against the 76ers. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody! How we doing? It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm your old pal, AJ, joined as always by the legendary Mr. Rob Thompson. Good morning, Robert.
Turn my mic on.
There we go.
I want to be known as 4 hours and 7 minutes today.
Is your wife sore?
Nah, 4 hours and 7 minutes.
Imagine.
4 hours. Yeah, imagine that.
Your heart would have given out.
Yeah, it's tantric.
Heart and shoulder.
4 hours. 4 hours and 4 hours and 7 minutes. You can figure out what that means, but for those of us that know,
If you know,
you know. That's 268 miles.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Door to door. 4 hours, 7 minutes.
Strong work.
Thank you. A new personal best. Just it's on. I'm carving it into the right by the steering wheel, the dash right there. I'm gonna carve it in with a razor blade.
Was that there or
the
back?
Date. It was back, coming south.
How'd it go there?
It wasn't terrible, but I knew we weren't going to bust it, so I really didn't keep track once we had to stop. We had to stop and we get in the car, no stopping. Wife fell asleep. I could do whatever I wanted for about 4 hours.
Are you always the driver?
I try to be. My wife, I've talked about it before, and she knows. My wife, I hate riding with my wife. My wife is a left lane, 5 mile and up above the speed limit. I'm already speeding. If you don't like it, go around me kind of driver, and I hate it. She's the worst.
My wife doesn't like when I drive because she thinks I don't follow enough rules.
Well, yesterday was one of those days. It was the perfect blend. So we got up. We had an early breakfast. I hit the road about 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. There was no construction. My wife didn't have any coffee. She had a pillow. She was asleep by the time we hit the Dallas city limits. I laid it out. I found a couple of, I call them toes. I found a couple of dudes that were doing 85, 90, and hung with them. Let them be the guys that go over the hill first. Those guys. I was in the rear with the gear. And just rode all the way home. It was about Georgetown when I was coming up to the decision.
Toll road or not. And
it was going to be like 63 minutes Austin, 64 minutes toll road. It was the cleanest Austin traffic I'd ever seen. So this is like 10:15 on a Sunday morning.
So you put up those numbers going through Austin?
I didn't. I chose, even though it would have been equal, I chose the toll road.
I think that's I don't believe that sign, honestly.
I don't either, because you never know what's going to happen.
There's no world where 35 through Austin is faster than the toll road.
That's what. So the sign said,
fast.
And I'm coming up to it, and it's a decision. And I'm like, most of the times when I make these kind of traffic decisions, it's the wrong one. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to err on the side of I'll just drive as fast as I can, and maybe it won't matter. Because at this point, I see a personal best in the making.
By the way, I believe that toll road from whatever it is, Buda down to Georgetown, I believe that is the Autobahn, and there are no rules on it.
There are none. There are none. I literally got past doing 100.
Yeah,
I was doing 100, and an Audi didn't zoom by me.
That was Dax.
It was in fact. Where else in Texas with no real concern? I mean, it was just like, I'll get on behind you, man, break the air. But it was a truly exhilarating experience.
I think
it's one of those perfect Sunday mornings.
I think Elon has bought that road actually, and I think that's where Star Camp is or whatever it's called.
There's something going on back there.
The Star Camp cops aren't looking for you.
There's something. I legit saw helicopters landing behind there. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, joining us on the other side of the glass, Victor Brown. Good morning, Vic.
Wait. That's not Vic.
Vic.
You're calling me Vic?
Well,
that's not Vic.
That's not Vic.
That's weird. Where's Vic?
I don't know.
Victor Brown sent us a text yesterday.
He was working out.
He said, I don't want to mess this up.
He was working in the yard. Got a little hot.
So while working on the yard, I had heat exhaustion / heat stroke. I still don't feel good, so I'm going to stay home tomorrow. I'll keep you updated. I just need rest and a lot of water. And you said, I will. Or no, you said, holy bleep, rest up, compadre. We got you. Cold shoulder, ice your neck, keep drinking water till you pee twice. And
you, on the other hand.
I said, yeah, don't sweat it. We'll just be working a double tomorrow while you chill out. Seems fair. Like when you didn't work Juneteenth. Must be nice.
I don't know who's the sucker in this conversation, but
you're the sucker. Clearly, you're like,
no,
you're okay, buddy. Come on.
Well,
we wish
bad
Vic,
for him.
We wish Vic well. Hopefully, he's sleeping and
hope
not
he wasn't
hearing
lugging
this.
those big logs that he had from the dead tree. I think that's.
It was hot yesterday.
Yeah, that's why if you're smart, you stay inside.
Yeah, you've got sons. You've got.
Sometimes work has to be done.
Yeah, and then you pay people to do it.
And or you drink plenty of water while you're doing it.
Yes. What'd you do outside yesterday?
Oh, I worked yesterday. But I worked here.
You didn't get out in the heat?
I mean, to get to my car.
Oh, okay. But when you got home, you didn't do anything? You didn't mow the lawn or anything like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I went to the attic.
Oh, what were you doing up there?
It was hot. It was pretty hot up there.
What do you do up
The
there?
filter.
Were you in trouble?
I need to clean out the filter.
Okay.
It's been 6 months, so.
Oh, all right.
6 months?
Yeah. You know the little red dot that comes on the thing?
But 6 months is a minute. I bet that thing was
the little red dot. What am I missing?
Got one of them fancy sensors.
Oh.
Got one of them fancy ones. Them sensors.
It was pretty dirty, yeah.
It's all sensors.
Oh, gotcha.
And you need to.
My house doesn't have sensors.
Well, you got to lubing up the Nardinals, and you release the Scroggins.
Right.
And then you get in there, and the sensor's reading the lengths and whatnot. And as he said, the sensor went off.
Okay.
So you got to set that Scroggin
for the
back.
filter.
You got to move the Scroggin
What
back to
filter
9,
was
maybe
it?
8.5.
What do you mean? What
His
filter?
air conditioner filter.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. And to go into the attic.
See, the Scroggins.
You have to go into the attic to change the air filters?
He's got one of those new models.
Huh.
It's all Scroggins and Nardinals now.
Huh. Well, I'm wondering if I need to do something.
It was hot as heck up there too.
Well, yeah. It's the attic. We live in Texas.
Your Fetzer valve had gone out.
Oh, friends. Yes. So those of you who aren't aware, Rob Thompson and I are working a double shift today. Now, not Edwin. Edwin's going to go home and nap after this.
He's got lawn work to do.
You know,
he's got to get back up in the attic.
He's got a sensor went off for a filter. But Rob and I, we're going to continue to slave away here, working a double shift. A lot of people in the business won't do it, but Rob and I,
we're that good.
Consummate professionals, workhorses. There's lots of words for us.
A lot we can't use on it.
No, yeah, a lot we don't say, but we are going to also be hosting the Blitz from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Oh, I'm only going till 4.
Now, you and I have approached this double shift in different ways. You say you were going to go home and
I'm going to go home and have a lunch and have a normal kind of attempt at nap and get back up here about.
But you're going to go walk your dogs. You're going to do all that.
No, my wife has agreed to take care of all the external things.
Okay.
When we get home, get an hour or so.
Okay. Meanwhile, I brought a sleeping mat
I thought you were
and
in
a
trouble.
pillow.
I thought you'd had a rough weekend as I watched you walk in with a sleeping bag, some cushions, and a pillow. I thought, it's only been a couple of weeks.
No.
She's
already
let
fed
your
up.
guard down.
She's already fed up.
But anyway, no, that's the case. So you're going to try. You're going to boldly attempt.
I'm going to
But
lock.
I do believe to be impossible.
Please, nothing. Yeah, I've slept in that office, but our office is dark. There's no window, so I'm going to lock the door, and I'm going to lay that mat down and on my pillow, and I went up and snagged a pillow from the guest room, and I am going to take a nap here at work.
You see, kids, prison does prepare you for life.
That's right. It does. It does. And I'm not even going to get sexed to sleep. I'm just going to have to do it without someone.
You don't have to deal with your celly.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a guy on Reels I follow talks about prison, all the rules in prison. I'm totally down, too. Like you never sit on your cellmate's bunk.
No.
Oh no. Never.
Oh
No.
Lord, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's your home.
That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm down with what the sets are like in the California penal system.
Yeah.
If anything ever happens, I'd be okay, I think.
Well, what do you think you would do if you showed up? Would you take top bunk
I'd
or
turn
bottom
out.
bunk?
I don't know.
Like if let's say you walk into your cell and you're clearly the alpha in the situation. Like let's say your cellmate is like
I'm a top bunk dude.
You would be the
You're not
top
gonna-
bunk?
Yeah, I don't want any fart dust rolling down on me. I want top stuff.
But also, don't you want to be able to just sit down and chill out on your bunk when you're?
No, if I was the alpha, I'd have my own chair.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Huh? That your cellmate you'd make him whittle out of.
No, my cellie and I would be down.
You guys would be friends.
We'd have to be.
Okay.
You don't want to,
You are a talkative, like you're like most people. If you're sharing a cell, they're probably not wanting to like make idle chit chat. And Rob's gonna be like,
No,
hey man, you ever done?
I'd be that guy. See what I found in prison, in my mini reels,
Uh-huh.
my vast experience, is you got to be a connector. You got to be a guy that gets stuff done. You'll be good with everybody.
That's right.
So, and this was,
You are not a fly under the radar kind of guy.
No, I wouldn't want to be.
I would want to be the guy who never talked to anybody.
See, those are the ones that I don't know.
And then at night, I would just
Come at you.
I'd prepare for war. That's all I would do. That's what my nights would be, preparing for war. I would do Jeet Kune Do in the cell when everybody else is asleep, and they probably all think I was a little biatch.
I get the sense if it did happen, I'd be paying people right and left just to stay out.
Yeah, that's the move.
I'd have to just buy my way out.
That's the move.
It doesn't seem like it'd be that much.
You'd be the guy who
I'd be using my canteen.
Your butt wallet would be a cigarette dispenser.
Something like
People just be reaching up there, pulling out a smoke.
as long as it's an exit, not an entry. As long as it's coming out, whatever it takes.
All right, we got a lot to talk about today, man. There's a lot of movement in the NBA, including some rumors about LeBron James.
This is silly.
Is it?
This is silly. Well, I can't wait to. Well, let's put this into perspective. What he did.
Okay, we'll discuss that coming up next. It is the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are dealing with a major accident on the far northwest side of town. 1604 eastbound now closed between Bandera Road on over to FM 1560. Road work continues 35 southbound Olympia Parkway on down to 1604. Now a 10-minute delay. 2 right lanes are closed, and that has you stop and go from Weiderstein. They just picked up that road work at 1604 westbound, 281 on over to Stone Oak Parkway. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Celebrate July 4th with savings at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location while supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Missions fans, get ready for AARP $2 Tuesdays at Wolf Stadium, presented by San Antonio Sports Star. Enjoy $2 tickets, beer, hot dogs, and more. This Tuesday, first pitch at 7:05 p.m. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at samissions.com.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
Fireworks are awesome, but overpaying for them? That's not so awesome.
Mr. W Fireworks, we've got the lowest prices around.
Like, lower than anyone.
No hidden fees, no crazy markups, just real savings with pre-tariff pricing. Our family has been doing this since 1963.
And the selection, it's huge. We have so many fireworks.
Go to MrWFireworks.com to find a location near you. Mr. W Fireworks, We have pre-tariff prices.
Nobody beats our prices. Nobody.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
All right, Morning Huddle 94.1. LeBron James opts in with the Lakers. But there's a world where LeBron James is not a Laker next year.
Yeah, there's a world. This is, first of all, LeBron opting in. That was kind of a no-brainer,
right?
Money always matters. Never assume that money doesn't matter. It always motivates. But LeBron's already a billionaire. This would be his 23rd year. If anybody ever took a little bit less to go win a title, or it would be a guy like him. You know, he can afford to take. He could play. You know, he could actually pay the team if he chose to, and it wouldn't matter at all to his bottom line. So to opt in, sure. You know, pay me some coins in the cushion. $53 million. That's to $1 billion. Think about he's worth nearly $1 billion now. That's like 10,000 times more. You know, so this isn't a money thing. And then to come out and I'll opt in and then go, but you better do everything to get better.
Right.
Does he not realize that the spotlight that he sees is no longer the brightest one on that team? He's not the most important guy today, tomorrow, next week on that team. I know he knows that. So I think what he's done here, he has set the table to leave, at least that's what he's saying, if they don't get this team better. But the way to get this team better for the long term is to trade him.
I think that's the answer.
So is he playing coy? Or is this a calculated move or is he poking at this new bear that just bought the team? Prove it.
So
prove it that you will invest.
I think the next few days are going to be pretty telling. And here's what I believe. The Lakers, who all the talk is the Lakers are going to be looking for a center this offseason. I don't know what is available out there that can really be a game changer. But the reality is this. The Lakers are not one piece away from becoming a title contending team.
Because of Oklahoma City.
The gap between Oklahoma City and everyone else in the West is too great now that, you know, even with Luka and LeBron, who as a 1-2 punch are about as good as it gets, the rest of their roster is so far from being like what we just saw with Oklahoma City, where they're just loaded all the way down the line, that one player, two players is not going to put them over the top. I think the perfect team is the obvious team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers have guys that they could move that would not gut them to the point where they weren't a contender. Let's say they move a Jared Allen. The trade would be based around Jared Allen or Darius Garland. I'm sure the Lakers would love to get both. But let's just pretend for a minute the Cavs are only willing to give up one of them, plus DeAndre Hunter, plus Max Strus to make money match. Giving up that one of those combos does not, and getting back LeBron does not make Cleveland any less of a threat in the East. They're probably still the best team in the East. Whereas For the Lakers, it gives them a new younger piece to build around who's under contract and is cheaper than LeBron. Gives them some room to bring in some other guys. Gives them some depth, which they haven't had.
I make sure he's in the East. I do think draft picks matter.
And they have draft picks to give.
And I think that they're going to have to get some now talent and some later talent. But I think that the intent is for LeBron. He might start the season with the Lakers. I don't think he's going to finish the year with the Lakers. I think he's going to get moved and play even another year after that once he gets this once this process gets completed. It's just a matter of now, what's a LeBron worth? Because you're only going to get a year and a half of it. And he's really not – he hasn't declined extraordinarily. He's certainly not what he was. You'd be bringing in, you'd hope, the third best player on your team. You know, if you're going to make that kind of move, you better already have something in-house. You're not – he's going to need some help. He can't just show up and change the world. So you're going to have to get a little bit of both and a little bit of hope that he can get in year 24.
Well, also
or 25.
Also consider Cleveland over the weekend fleeced the Bulls for Lonzo Ball. Who I get it, Lonzo Ball may or may not be on the floor, but the Bulls got nothing in return, and the Cavs actually saved money somehow doing that deal. So it makes guys it makes Garland a little more expendable. And if you've got something, let's just say for sure you've got Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and one of either Jarrett Allen or Darius Garland and Lonzo Ball and LeBron, that sounds like a roster that can compete and it can at least be in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and you have to paint this on the backdrop of the new ownership. And we do know the history of this ownership, this group, is to invest heavily. That they don't buy losers. They're here to look at what they've done with the Dodgers. There was no budget. Whatever it costs, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
But just bring in the title. So if that's the case, LeBron, I think, is testing it. All right, hot shot. If you want me to hang around, which he talked out of both sides of his mouth because, let's see what you do. But at the same time, he gave whoever's going to get him the parameter, his contract. We know exactly what he's going to get paid next year. $52 million. You can, if you know what it is, and you know the long-term plan, and we all agree on it, LeBron will be a 3-year whatever it is with a player option on that third year, and you might get him for 3. But what's that worth?
The problem is, if you're the Lakers, like LeBron saying, "Okay, what are you going to do?" and I'm sure new ownership is not unwilling to spend, but the guys that they could go out and get. Let's say so assuming Kyrie signs an extension,
which I think is guaranteed.
We saw reports
that
he
did. Kyrie did. He got it.
Oh, he did.
He got
okay.
the deal. Yeah.
James Harden, we know, signed his extension. Julius Randle's going to sign his extension. We're talking about maybe the best free agent available on the whole market. Cam Thomas,
probably.
Is Cam Thomas going to make the Lakers
No, they're going to have to. Well, there's not just him. I mean, there's
John Collins. What are we talking about here?
It's not just free agency. If they can do something with Austin Reeves,
untouchable, you mean?
I think now he's touchable because. But if they can extricate him, then they'll have 14 or so million, I believe, to go spend on a big. So it might be a John Collins, or at least they can use that to fill that gap in another kind of deal. So there is a possibility of just moving a small piece and appeasing LeBron and getting something that'll kind of get them to next year. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that Austin Reeves is worth what they think is going to be worth, and I'm certainly not going to give LeBron the missing piece for his last year on his run unless I get the recompense is pretty good. And what has the Lakers got to give me?
Well, and that's kind of what the Lakers have to be thinking about. Like, if we move Austin Reeves, what does our team look like when LeBron is gone?
Yeah, well, I think the intent is, that's why I'm saying the intent is if whatever we do, we're going to have to get draft picks. Although the Lakers have never really had draft picks. They don't really give a damn about that. They'll always have money to go, the April, the second
especially
April
now
to them. Yeah, so draft picks don't matter, but current value does. And I fall back on, we never really got what a Kevin Durant was worth until right there at the end. And even then, everybody kind of questioned whether Phoenix just kind of what they're doing in the grand scheme of things. Is he worth exactly what a LeBron's worth? Is it less?
I think it's less.
Okay, how much less? A draft pick less? A 3-star player instead of a 4-star player? I mean, I'm trying to – what exactly do you do to get a LeBron? Because it is a short-term, high-risk investment that could pay remarkable, but it is a penny stock.
Well, also – consider the value to the franchise.
There's all that. Yes, a year and a half of LeBron playing 42 home games. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm in.
And particularly in Cleveland.
Yes, all of that. I think I would be in for more than he's probably worth just for the notoriety of having LeBron suiting up for his last time in my uniform. So,
and also what it does is it lets Cleveland kind of plan out their long term, because they're not going to be able to pay all those young guys long term. So if they move on from a Jarrett Allen who's got 2 years left at a reasonable rate.
If you're Cleveland, would you wait? Would you just go, you know what? If somebody wants to make a deal now, that's fine. But if I see this season develop and I got momentum, or at least I see what this team could look like with a LeBron, would you just wait until, trade deadline's February, until December, until you really started to decide whether – I mean, you're risking a lot because somebody else could jump in. But the fact of the matter is, L.A. needs to make a deal far more than you do. This is a team that, but for, and there's some what ifs, but you don't really give up yet. So I'm not sure if I jump in there yet, because I don't think this intent was immediate. Like, you make a deal or I'm out now, or he wouldn't have signed the gig. I think he's going to be more of a trade deadline move, other than if he is going to actually leave, than he would be an offseason, like this summer kind of move.
Yeah, maybe so.
And then, if Cleveland sees it, make the move. And by that
time,
I
think doing anything mid-season is risky.
Oh, it's all shoot. I get all that negative side of it. But if I'm Cleveland, shoot. But for one injury and a couple of miracle shots, I went a little bit further. But you can't say that. Losers lose. But at the end of the day, I don't got to make this deal. You do. You're the one that's going to be just about to be out of LeBron completely.
Yeah, I think what's happening here is LeBron is realizing that his timeline is no longer the same as the Lakers' timeline, and his value to the Lakers is no longer what it was 3 years ago.
Do you think he realizes it, or is
I think he does.
I hope so, because if he doesn't, he's in for a rude awakening, because this is Luka's team. And the Lakers' future resides solely with Luka.
And listen, and I think LeBron understands that. He understands what Luka is. He understands what he is at this point. But I think LeBron also understands that the Luka project, while he thinks, I'm sure that the Lakers look at Luka as the long-term solution. Any team that the Lakers can put together right now is still a couple of years away.
Yes, but LeBron has to know that, right? He's not so deluded into thinking
LeBron has to know
Nas Reed away from a title.
No, LeBron has to know I'm either down to 1, maybe 2 years left, if I'm lucky.
Well, if you're telling me you want to win, it ain't going to be here.
That's what I'm saying.
And the spotlight you see bright isn't on you. It's on that guy over there. And don't act like you're bigger than that. And again, the people he's dealing with, everybody's new. And the deal to buy the Lakers, this, what was it, $11 billion, whatever that, I guarantee you, he was already part of the Laker organization. He gave the go-ahead for this deal, for the Luka deal. He knew exactly what this was. You think Buss would have made this deal and then managed to sell the Lakers like that? This new owner knew what was happening, was a part of this plan, and agreed to it, knowing full well I'm taking the Lakers in the next generation when LeBron's long gone. So if we could expedite this, he might be all for it, man. I'll move you for whatever.
But I think if LeBron can work this into a place, if he can work himself into a place where he's got a better chance to win right now, that's the best thing for him, and I think would be the best thing for the Lakers. Because, like I said, the timeline just doesn't match up. And so to me, Cleveland is such the obvious choice, because Cleveland, if I said, okay, take the rosters that everybody had this year and take all of them into next year, who do you like after OKC?
I'm about to say, other than OK. Yeah,
Cleveland's near the top right now, at least based on health.
And there's some poetry to the whole story. So
there is.
And LeBron is just shallow enough to I shouldn't say shallow. That does matter. Your legacy does matter.
Sure.
And the story does matter. So I think he's just that kind of guy to realize this is a perfect period to the end of the book. Like to go back home and give it one last run. And if he does manage to do it, then a lot of those haters, a lot of those doubters that said, no, he's not. The GOAT resides somewhere in North Carolina. That might be enough to kind of push him over the top if he manages to do something like that. And he's just the kind of guy over a $1,500 bottle of whatever his favorite is to kind of dream of something like that.
What I also know is LeBron is always going to have his detractors no matter what happens on the court. What I do know is LeBron is loved in Cleveland, really whether he's there or not. But when he's been there, boy, they treat him like a god.
Well, he is.
And I could, if I were him, I would want to finish my career out there.
There's the other stuff, and we heard about his, Chris Paul saying I was away from home. His son's about to be a senior in high school. I mean, he would be gone for his kids last year. And
LeBron's son is headed to college.
Did he already sign? I thought he was a junior.
No, he's going to be at Arizona next year.
I didn't know he'd signed.
Yeah.
So there's then I can foresee an easy leave, at least going back home for a minute.
He does have a daughter who's still school aged.
No, who cares about daughters? You're just going to marry her off.
What are you going to do? Go play lady basketball? Give me a break.
I'll write a check. I'll buy her a fine.
Get a real job where you can make some money.
I'll get her a fine husband. I'll find one. I got $1 billion. I can buy anything I want.
Oh boy, but I'm interested to see what happens with him. There's a lot more going on in the league. We'll talk about some of the other things happening. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are dealing with a major accident on the far northwest side of town. 1604 eastbound now closed between Bandera Road on over to FM 1560. Road work continues 35 southbound Olympia Parkway on down to 1604. Now a 10-minute delay. 2 right lanes are closed, and that has you stop and go from Weiderstein. They just picked up that road work at 1604 westbound, 281 on over to Stone Oak Parkway. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
Nigel, why does our office look like a casino?
I call it employee engagement.
Folks, right now is the ideal time to hit the jackpot on comfort with Quarter Moon's Lucky 7's AC tune-up. It's just $77 for a complete 7-point inspection.
Excuse me, bossman. I've got a good feeling about that slot machine next to your desk. Joel, I couldn't get an advance on next week's check, could I?
Call Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC and Heating for your Lucky 7's AC tune-up. Just $77. 210-651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074EM16004.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows July 4 savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. Hurry, these July 4 deals won't last. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. mint. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The right stuff. Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s.
Call Right Home Services.
Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. 210-444.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, the two new Spurs have spoken. We'll react to what they had to say. Plus, it is the first day of the NBA free agent period. What in the world are the Spurs going to do? The Blitz starts Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's go!
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
James Harden got himself some dough, declined his player option, and got a brand new 2-year, $81.5 million contract.
That's mid-major.
He was due to make $36.3 next year, but because he declined that option and got a new deal, he's going to get a little bump.
That's what's the next year? Because it looks like the Clippers are going to have a lot of free money following this year.
Well, that's it did give them a little bit of flexibility. He'll receive a raise next year and give the team some flexibility.
Like Supermax flexibility.
Yes. I guess the idea is for them to, I don't know, like prepare for the future while still competing for the now, which is, of course, everybody's ideal situation, but this is probably the last time that the Clippers will give James Harden money.
His career still got more to do. It just won't finish up in a Clipper uniform.
And he was, he was also pretty solid this year.
Let me tell you, there's a world where James is, the arc of his career is all but done, but he still has a skill set. He's still a bucket getter. And there's a world where he arrives where the Celtics used to be masters at this, bringing in guys right at the end of their career with just enough. Bill Walton was a good one. Scott Wedman before him. Guys that came in
Garnett.
That just at the end of their career with just enough gas to go do it. And he's going to be one of those guys that's got that his career, like Paul Pierce's, like Garnett's, was a lot of maybe show me you couldn't do it kind of stuff until they arrived at the end. And I can see Harden angling and ending his career on a ridiculous up note where he gets there and he provides just enough to get a team over the hump.
I could see that too, but it
won't be with L.A.
And it won't be as the superstar player on the
he's
team.
A 12, 20-minute guy that comes off the bench to go get buckets, and every now and then the dude can rip off 40. He's still got that in him. So I think at the end of the day, when there's no reliance on him other than just go out and give me 12 minutes, if it doesn't work, you're sitting down anyway. So I can see a place in a couple of years where he lands and it can be a true difference maker and maybe change everybody's perspective of what it could have been. A career that was dotted with highlights and ridiculousness, but in the end, really not that fruitful.
Yeah, I could see that same thing playing out. I just think that the way the Clippers are built now, there's too much of a reliance on him to be like.
Well, this year he's going to go. Be him.
The problem is the Clippers' best player is Kawhi. the problem with having Kawhi as your best player is he's going to miss half the season. So James Harden was, for a good chunk of the season, the go-to guy on the Clippers, which you are limited now if James Harden, today's version of James Harden especially, is your best player. I still contend that if things break their way and health-wise they get a good, healthy season from Kawhi and a good, healthy season from Harden, and they can add another piece, that's a dangerous team.
Yeah.
Dangerous in the Western Conference is all relative.
True.
You're still,
that's what we're getting at. Yeah,
there's still a good gap between the best version of the Clippers and OKC.
But they're a plus 500 team. I give you that. And I certainly wouldn't want to play them on the road in the first round. I'll give all that. But it also has the extraordinary possibility of utter collapse. And you know what I mean?
It is a high-risk, high-reward roster.
How much do you do? I'm all in for this year. But I think the best thing the Clippers can do is clear room for next. And whether Harden's here or not, make sure that your coach still hang around. You got this big, pretty building. Clear room, go get yourself a superstar that's always wanted to come to L.A., but, isn't going to be a Laker. And go along the road that the Clippers have always gone. Spend a lot of money to make yourself justified in a market that, quite frankly, doesn't care. So they're going to have to go make some space. And I think the best way to do it is let Harden go, man. Let him go next year, because I don't think anybody's going to touch Kawhi. So he'll end up a Clipper. But get somebody to take some space for the next 5 years.
Harden will be 36 in August.
Oh, that's young.
He became just the second 35-year-old player in NBA history to average 22 points and 8 assists per game. Just he and LeBron James are in that club. Not a bad group to be in if you're going to be a 35-year-old baller still making it in the NBA, and if your name is next to LeBron as the only ones over 35 to ever do something,
it's just going to be very difficult for most of the NBA types to get past who James is. But if you get the purest form of James Harden and don't expect anything other than the 22-8, and don't expect leadership or anything like that,
you can't do that.
But if you just get him for that. That's a worthy investment down the road. And at 36, he's got 4 more solid years. His game is not predicated on quickness and explosion. He's always been guile and footwork, and that's not going to go away.
I will give you this. This is he suited up for at least 72 games in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2019. So it's been a while. But at least he's been on the floor the last couple games.
When was Fat Suit James? Was that 19?
No, that would have been like his last year or two in 20. Yeah, I guess it would have been around that time.
When he went to Brooklyn.
Fat Suit,
yeah. When he
got skinny once. He got skinny once he got to Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he was basically asking his way out of there. Yeah, that probably was the last time.
He was playing a game wrapped in like what was Eddie Murphy's character, the fat dude?
Yeah, what was that show? The Clumps.
The Clumps. He had his clump suit on.
Professor Clumps.
What a loser. God, James Harden's a loser. Like, you just say that, I'm like, oh, my gosh.
See, that's why you go, if you can get past that, oh, my God, that's right. That's right, he did do that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. If you can get past that and go, all I need.
He's my least favorite player in the NBA.
I'm not a system player. I am a system.
Yeah, he is my least favorite player in the NBA.
15 minutes a night, man. That's all I need.
And I love that my wants line up with everybody in San Antonio's wants, because everybody in San Antonio hates Kawhi the way that I hate James Harden, and so we can all be united in hoping that the Clippers fail miserably.
Yes.
But I do see a world where if things break for them, they are very competitive this year. At least everything's relative to OKC being on a different level than the field, but there's no reason why they're not in the mix to be a top 2 or 3 seed in the West as well, if everything goes well for them.
I know the NBA is a lot more fun when the Clippers are involved. You know what I mean? When they're in the chase for whatever reason.
I mean,
it's just a much more interesting run, and this year was boring.
Yeah.
At least in the sense where you want a little bit of drama. I want a little bit of James, messing stuff up every now and again. And a little bit of random Kawhi missing practice.
I want James to fail spectacularly. Like, I like when people start to believe that he's different and then he proves to be himself.
Well, he's
like,
that's what I'm getting at. He's a cockroach. We know what he is. Just treat him as a cockroach, man. Just turn the lights on every now and again. Let him fester in the dark.
I'm going to take the Warriors to the brink and then miss 18 shots in a row, James Harden. And people are like, is this real? Yeah. I want people to think that James is point shaving. That's the James that I want.
We're not going to. Isn't that awful that you can play so badly sometimes? Like, are you cheating?
Trying to do the only explanation is that you tried to do that. I love it. That's what I want. That's the kind of failure I want to see from James. And by the time he did that, I was already out on James. So I'm
not a system player. I am a system.
Even as like I said, I grew up a Rockets fan. He ruined my love for an entire franchise.
Well,
and because that franchise stood with him, I was just like, fine, I'm out on you. I gave up my fandom. I turned in my card.
It gave Manu a logo.
Ugh.
The block.
Yep. All right. We'll see what else is going on in the NBA on the other side. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Being arrested isn't just a setback. It's a nightmare that can destroy your life and reputation. If you want to rewrite your story after the worst night of your life, you need an aggressive, skilled defense team. I'm Gary Barton, owner of Barton & Associates. We're here to make sure your one bad night doesn't turn into a lifetime of regret. Protect your reputation. Contact Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-million. Or visit TexasArrest.com. Barton & Associates. Your defense starts here.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Chris says, stop it already, AJ. OKC isn't winning it again.
Well, the odds tell you. Past, if you fail to observe the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And the past tells us.
It is difficult.
Nearly a decade.
Yep. But the odds also tell you the Thunder are plus 225 to win it again. And the next closest team is more than 3 times that at plus 750, the Houston Rockets.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, actually, there's a lot of things that tell you, if you had 8 heads in a row, what are you going to bet? Tails. I mean, yeah, you would expect at some point just by the numbers there's going to be a repeat champion, and there's been that, and then there's been no team uniquely equipped like this to carry on after a title.
You know what? I was talking to a guy who said if you flipped
in a vacuum, it doesn't matter.
He used the roulette wheel. He said if a roulette wheel lands red 5 times in a row,
there's nothing that says it won't be red again. But your gut tells you, man, it's got to be black eventually.
Well, he said, chances are good that black's not a bad bet. If it's been red 15 times in a row,
doesn't matter.
He's like, I'm more apt to bet red because now it becomes the chances are there's something going on with the wheel more than
let's say, but mathematically that belief doesn't stand up,
right?
Because every spin isn't, all things being equal, You start on the same color, same strength of pull.
Yes, everything's a coin flip.
Yeah, everything's in a vacuum individually, but the numbers will tell you that eventually something will weigh out. And after 10 times, you just go, it's got to be black. And I think in this situation, you can't go there. You can't go, it's got to be. No. It can happen again.
But if you wrote down on paper write out these rosters, write out the coaching staff, who looks best equipped.
No, there's no question.
There's no question who's best equipped.
We have said this before over the last decade. I mean, I can't pinpoint exactly which one it was, but over the last 8 years, every time you go, who's going to catch them? I mean, and we could probably go back and figure out that was dumb to say, but those were, keep in mind, we're only a week away from a championship.
Yep.
It did take them 7 games. So, I mean, there's lots of things that tell you, no, they're not going to repeat because it's really, really hard to. The league is set up for you not to be able to do it. But they're the first team in a decade that goes, we understand that. Keep in mind, we won when we're still cheap. We're the 49ers. We're not paying anybody anything right now. So this is the time we're supposed to be able to repeat.
But if I gave you $100 and said you can put it on anybody to win again next year or win next year, who would you put it on?
If you put the Oklahoma City in the field, I'd bet the field. But if it was them versus the 5, no, I'd probably take Oklahoma City. But it's kind of like if you're telling me them versus the field, 8 past times the field has won, I'd probably go field.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that this team is uniquely designed to.
Well, I think you're right in that they're the first team in a decade that is uniquely prepared. They got nobody imminent to be in salary cap desperation where they could probably go be a star someplace, and they've got the money to pay their dudes, and they still have a buttload of number ones coming down the track. So if somebody leaves, they can fill it back up.
They've proven that they can do, now obviously if Shea gets hurt, this is all out the window. It's like saying if Joker gets hurt, what are the Nuggets? There's usually one guy that you can say if he's hurt, it's all over. But it's like a quarterback in the NFL. Like if Josh Allen gets hurt, the Bills stink.
But
if Lamar Jackson gets hurt, the Ravens stink.
I'm not predicating that if he gets hurt, I expect him to be able to play. But teams get better, and film gets out, and the wear and tear of success eventually catches you. And most of these teams, well, not most, all of the teams over the last decade, that target was too big. They couldn't carry it through, whether it be for injury or ineptitude or talent, exit. It just didn't work. This team seems to be uniquely prepared. But I bet over the last decade, lots of conversations were had about a lot of these teams that look uniquely prepared and situated to go. And for whatever reason, coach gets worked up and gets fired. GM gets a better gig. One bad signing, one bad apple walks in the door, an injury at a bad time, one dude thinking he's not getting his just desserts, and everything collapses. And it's happened over and over. So history tells me, do not lean into Oklahoma City. I mean, it's just part of this world. But on the other side, they're uniquely equipped. The crazy thing about this, I wonder if they're going to play this Topich kid that they drafted last year in the Summer League.
I'm curious.
If this dude shows up and looks a year older, like Chet got a year of seasoning, showing up as basically a rookie after a year, look out, man. This team's already better.
Chris says history tells us they won't repeat. How many back-to-backs have we had in history? Not many. I disagree with that. Since I've been alive in 1980, it's happened 12 times.
Recently, this is the NBA doing it. This wasn't just by happenstance. It was an attempt to make sure that talent was limited to maybe 2 or 3 stars per team. You just can't afford to have that much. And given the way that the salary cap changed and the way it was applied and the second apron has become part of it, the league isn't what it was back in the 2000s and 90s. You can't hold on to your dudes anymore. So that made it more difficult to maintain. And as salary caps have exploded, those dudes want to go get paid. And you got to grow a team. Nobody goes to college anymore. So you don't have a big window.
Chris says Celtics, Lakers, Rockets, Pistons, Bulls, Miami, Golden State. Those are all repeat champs. Yeah, that's a lot of teams.
Yeah, no.
You just rolled out a whole bunch of teams that have done it.
For 40 years, the league was designed for the juggernauts. There can be 4, and those 4 will fight it out for a period of 3 or 4 years, and then one team will fall apart.
That didn't even include the Spurs, who were a dynasty but never won them back-to-back years. So
the league isn't what it was, but great teams, and they come around generationally, are capable of doing it. And it's been about a generation since we've been able to do this, so it's about time. And because of the economics, they're uniquely prepared to reload as this progresses. Because in 4 years, this team's going to look very different. There might have 2 of these guys on this team. That's it. but I expect them to be Shea and Chet. Everybody that I think the rest will rotate through, and there'll be a bunch of number ones playing well for them.
And as long as Shea is there, it's hard to count them out for sure.
Hey, Ben, we know what it's like.
All right, 1 hour down, 7 hours to go in the day for us.
Don't say that.
You don't like saying it like that? Okay, 3 more to go until nap time, and then we'll be back later on this afternoon. It is the Morning Huddle for now on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville. Your home for the NFL.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you want the lowest price. With their lowest price guarantee, if you find a qualifying lower price on the same item, they'll match it. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how they'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
It is summertime in San Antonio, and that means you want a beer that is brewed for the summertime, and Karbach Brewing has you covered. Love Street is their blonde-style Kolsch Ale. It is a smooth drinker, and it is great for those days out at the pool. Right now, the next beer in their Fun Series is Rhubarbed. It's a fruited field beer, refreshing, vibrant brand, which used to only be available at the brewery. Well, now guess what? It's available for you all over San Antonio. Of course, Ziegenbach and Crawford Bach, those you're going to find all over the city as well. There's something for everybody's summer taste at Karbach. And they've got a lot of things going on at KarbachBrewing.com. They've got great giveaways, including some Love Street Air Force Ones, customized, designed by a local artist, get you looking good for the summer. And the great taste of summer gives listeners a chance to win a grill for their backyard. Show off your true Texan skills as a barbecue master. Grill up your own great taste of Texas.
Happy birthday, America!
Mr. W Fireworks has been your family-owned and operated fireworks provider since 1963.
We are proud to guarantee the lowest prices on fireworks around. And the biggest selection, too.
That's right. Here at Mr. W Fireworks, we have the lowest prices on fireworks in the area and with the biggest selection to choose from. At Mr. W Fireworks, we have been doing this a long time.
We never charge any hidden fees, and we pass our savings down to the customer. Find our location near you at MrWFireworks.com.
Do you disregard people's personal space? Sitting next to people in public, even if there are tons of open seats? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm.
George gets justice. It's you versus them. The driver who changed your life. The insurance company dodging your calls. They want to give you up. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, they take on insurance giants and they fight to win. No upfront costs, no games. Just the fight for results. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a couple of new trouble spots. Disabled vehicle I-10 eastbound West Avenue. That stall is off to the shoulder. And on the south side of downtown, I-10 eastbound Probant, disabled vehicle right shoulder blocked. Looks like they did clear that fire activity on 90 Frontage Road westbound right as you approach 410. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line. We'll check it out. 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs are getting ready for their summer league. Training camp starts today. They begin their summer at the California Classic. This is Saturday the 5th. They're going to face Miami, then Golden State on Sunday the 6th. We wrap it up on Tuesday the 8th against the Lakers. Then it's off to Vegas, where their play begins on the 10th against the 76ers. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hey, you went and saw F1.
I saw F1 last night.
Talk about this. Because
I wanted to watch it in IMAX, but the only showing that had seats available in IMAX was the late showing, and I wasn't going to that. Obviously, I got to work 8 hours today.
I just saw that it was the biggest opening in years.
I'll say this, and I'm someone who I've never watched an F1 race in its entirety. I don't know that I've ever watched.
They're only 2 hours.
I don't think I've ever watched 10 consecutive minutes of an F1 race.
Would it make you now?
I don't know. Like, car racing's just not my thing.
I was just like you. I really was. But there's something to F1. There's a reason why Pitt made this movie. There is a high-level bit of precision and coaching and teamwork and a lot of stuff that goes into it that you never would have thought.
I will tell you this. The story itself, because of the setting and things like that, it's a unique movie. It's a good movie. The story itself is a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
It's the crumb bum underdog team looking to, how are we going to shoestring it together against the big dogs?
There's a grizzled old pro who just made a couple of bad decisions.
It's basically Major League in race cars is what it is. And Brad Pitt is Tom Berenger, and I forget the black kid's name, is Charlie Sheen. And they've got to come together, and it's like, how's this grizzled vet going to teach the young kid with all the talent how to make it in this sport?
Is there like an evil German team?
No, but there is an evil guy. Yeah, there's an evil guy, and it's all very predictable, but it's enjoyable. And I swear, if you watch this and you say, okay, this is Major League on a racetrack, I'm telling, there's a parallel to almost every part of it. Including the love interest.
How about just the cinematography? Is it crazy good? Do you feel like you're in a race?
Yes, that's the best part. That's the best part. But it go like I walked out of it going, I had fun at this movie, but it is literally Major League. There's
only 7 stories ever told.
There's the owner who wants the team to fail, so he can sell it. There's the grizzled old vet with the love interest who he didn't think he was going to be able to get, but he did.
She's smoking hot. Who's the love interest?
I would not go smoking hot.
Really?
Not what I would consider smoking hot. She's a pretty lady, but
like a handsome woman.
No, I don't know how to describe.
Like
she's just
Glenn Close.
I'll just say, like, I don't think in real life Brad Pitt would give her a second look.
A handsome woman.
Yeah.
Not unattractive.
She's not unattractive, but she certainly wouldn't stick out in a crowd that you'd go, oh my God, look at her.
Who's the fighter who the movie where the fighter she died wanted to commit suicide? Her.
$1 Million Baby?
Yeah, her.
Jessica Biel?
Handsome woman.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
what is this gal's name? I'm gonna look up what her name is and see if there's a picture of her where she looks hotter than she looks in the movie. Let's see. F1 film. Damson Idris is by the way, he's the black guy that I couldn't remember his name.
I don't know who that is. I've seen the video. I've seen him, but I'm trying to place where I'd seen him before.
Have you ever seen the movie or the TV show Snowfall?
No.
On FX. It was a good movie. The gal is Carrie Condon. She did you ever watch? Oh, first of all, she was on Better Call Saul.
Oh, no, I find her. She has a unique beauty.
She was in Rome.
Yeah, I recognize her. I've seen her in a bunch of shows.
Okay.
Yeah. She's not unattractive.
I didn't say she's
on the
unattractive.
attractive side.
I didn't say she's unattractive.
But she's of an age.
I'm saying, would you think Brad Pitt would ever give her a second look?
She's
in
probably
real life?
not his type. She's kind of dainty. But, yeah. You're exactly right. But I give her a little bit higher than that. She's a solid, in the Hollywood world, she's a solid 7, 6.
Okay. And Javier Bardem is also in the movie. I love
like him.
him.
He's a great actor.
But I will say, I don't know many movies that Brad Pitt's made that I don't enjoy. Like, I'm a very heterosexual man, but I enjoy Brad Pitt movies about as much as any gal who enjoys them for different reasons than I do.
Well. I don't think he's a great actor, but he chooses movies quite well.
He picks the right movies, man. And again, you could go through his entire filmography. There might be 1 or 2 movies in there that I'm not like a mega fan of, but he's done some of my favorite movies of all time.
I get lost in his eyes.
It's easy to do.
Just streaming.
Now imagine him wearing a helmet and most of his face is covered and all you see are those eyes. Oh, my God.
Batman has a chin, and I guess now if you're driving F1, it's your eyes.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. No, I think you'll enjoy the movie.
I'm down. I want to go see it. And my wife's even in, so I bet it happens sooner than later.
Well, there you go. It is it's a worthy watch. As I was watching it, I looked over at my wife. I said, I wish we would have watched this on IMAX. And again, this is me as a person who doesn't care at all about F1 racing, but it was a fun time. I enjoyed it. It's not like it's going to win an Oscar or anything like that, but it's a fun movie.
No, 950 million globally. No, 144 million opening.
Okay, that's good. That's good numbers.
Lilo and Stitch are up to 950.
Lilo and Stitch. God, I wish I could come up with one cartoon movie. Let me put together one cartoon movie. I'll be set for eternity.
Yeah. That involves a lot of things, though.
I know, like drawing and
talent.
Yeah. That's not for me.
No, I don't. That's why I'm here.
That's not for me. Benny says Fury was badass. Yeah,
so it was.
I'm telling you, man.
Although Fury, man, by the time that movie was over, I needed a break. I needed a beer. That was an intense movie.
It was. But you can go, like I said, you can go through Brad Pitt's filmography, and there might be 1 or 2 movies that I'll go, not my favorite.
No, I can't think of one. He's had some lesser budgeted ones.
Yeah.
But all of them in some bit part roles. But I can't think of one that he was in that wasn't at least moderately okay.
Yeah. Now, there's some, like, what was
some
that
of
movie?
the dramedy, some of those rom-coms I could do without, but even those.
Well, like not the rom-com, but like the romance movie. Like the River Runs Through It movie. Not my thing.
But brilliantly made.
Well done.
I'll give it credit.
Well done. And then the Ocean's movies are awesome. Fight Club, Seven. What else did he do? The Vampire, Interview with the Vampire.
Not his best ever, but a movie was all right.
Moneyball. The Jesse James movie. He does them all. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Bastards.
We haven't. Then the little one, the one he made with Gandolfini when he was a mob hitman. Those little side, little passion.
Man, this guy's he's got it going on, man. Mm-hmm. This guy, The Big Short. He's got. There's a lot of good ones. Is all I'm saying. Plus, look at the list. Look at the list of chicks he banged. He could have them all. Him and Edwin, have them all. All right.
Good thing we're taken.
Jose says Jessica Biel is hot. Hilary Swank is not.
Oh, that's Hilary Swank.
That's
who I'm thinking
you're
of.
right.
Yes.
That's the wrong person.
Same idea, but
yeah,
exactly
I don't find Hilary Swank attractive at all.
Handsome. She's not unattractive. She's just handsome. And the further away, she's got that distant beauty. From a long way away, you're like, what? Wait, let's.
I think I'm out on her altogether. I think, I'm going to pass on her.
Well, I get it. That's a handsome woman.
Yeah. 12 Monkeys, Snatch, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah, dude, the list goes on. I mean, it is
Mr. and Mrs. Smith was,
It was what it was. It wasn't a horrible movie, but it was like an action movie.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It led to the divorce, right?
I think so.
That movie, they hated each other.
I think so. I think he might have banged somebody on set or something like that. Well, that's the other thing. I feel like he gets away with a lot of stuff that other dudes can't get away with, and without people getting mad at him about it. You know?
He has probably been able to skate.
But I also think because Angelina Jolie is so crazy, no one is like, well, I mean, I can't be mad at him. I mean, he's with a crazy woman.
Everybody has to dally on the dark side once.
Oh, yes.
They have to go into some place where.
And she'd already been tainted by Billy Bob, and those two, that was the
moment she wants to start wearing your blood around her neck, nope.
That was a weird match, man. And Billy Bob's doing a bunch of commercials now. It's very, like, Billy Bob is uncomfortably skinny at this point.
It's all the alcohol.
I don't know what it is.
He's a weird dude, man.
He is an odd bird, and it's weird to think, like, oh, somebody has Billy Bob Thornton as their spokesman.
He's so West Texas perfect cowboy. Then you see him getting interviewed, and he's dressed like Jimi Hendrix woke up somewhere and lost in London. What do you got on?
Or
man?
he's dressed like Cam Newton.
Yeah, scarves and
pilgrim hat,
buccaneer ear. Like what? Who? I thought you were from like Marfa.
Yeah, he is he's an odd bird, that Billy Bob. But hey, seems like he's
taters.
Yep. French fried taters with mustard. Mm-hmm.
How much you want for them taters?
I don't reckon you ought to be hitting on her like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's my silly.
Yeah, he could be. He could be, but you wouldn't be the alpha.
Taters.
He wouldn't be the alpha if he was your celly. You ain't sitting on his bunk.
He'd be my Lenny. He'd be my dude, man. I'd just give him a couple of rabbits. He'd protect me.
That's right. That's right.
That's a Grapes of Wrath reference for those of you who never read about.
All right. Where were we? We were discussing NBA news and notes. We've talked about LeBron. We've talked about the Clippers. The Lonzo Ball trade.
Does that just tell you that they might know something that the Bulls have seen enough of the doctor's reports that they're like, there's not even a knee left. So if you want him,
it's possible. But dude, to me, this tells me that the Bulls are maybe the most inept organization.
Well, I'll agree, but I do think they're kind of like Detroit, that they finally have somebody there that knows what they're doing, and they're having to fix some endemic problems that it's going to take a year or two. But they're re-upping in Donovan, getting some more money, and we know he's got a history. I trust him. So I'm not going to – I will say the organization is completely screwed up, the ownership and all that, I agree. But I think the current administration is trying to fix some problems that are probably a decade in the making.
But you're not fixing those problems when you don't get any first round picks and you don't like.
No, I'll agree. This is a weird move, and all I can justify it with is, do they know something that nobody else does, and they're getting over, even though it doesn't feel like they are.
Okay. Well, here's the reality. Even if they do know something and they're getting over on us, they could have traded him at the deadline and gotten way more than this.
Probably.
And instead they held on to him, and now all they got out of the deal was Isaac Okoro, who's like
Well, I'm not. That's not a bad deal, man. Especially if we're talking about 50% of ball. Like if the max you can expect from him is either half the time or half the ability.
It just feels like when they sent Zach LaVine to Sacramento, and we're like, that's all they got back, like. Kevin Herter and Zach Collins,
Okoro is, think about the Okoro coming out of Auburn. I mean, the dude can run, jump. I mean, he's got a lot of as much upside as anybody else, but certainly would never be that valuable.
He was like the ninth man in Cleveland's rotation in the playoffs. He is a one-trick pony. He's a defender at the NBA level, and that's about it. And that's all you got for Lonzo Ball.
I just don't get, unless, again, they know something about this that either Cleveland doesn't care. Like, we'll take a little bit of that because he plays so much like Halliburton. We realized when Halliburton wasn't in there, we needed somebody to distribute the ball. So we'll take half of that. We'll take it.
I just can't. I can't get over trading LaVine for peanuts. Trading all you get for Alex Caruso is Josh Giddey. That's it.
Well, there's
and then now this. There's a pattern where it's like,
well, the Caruso was man meets moment. Zach LaVine, has he done anything? I mean, I think maybe the league knew what the rest of the world didn't know, probably 2 years before the deal was done, that he was. I mean, this guy was.
It's more about
hype than skill.
If you would have traded him a year earlier, what could you have gotten?
Well, I don't think he was there. And, I think some of this stuff was not of his making.
I think that the Bulls historically, I say historically, like this generation, hold on to players until all of their flaws are exposed, and then they trade them for nothing.
I won't argue that. But I do know that Billy Donovan has a history of winning. And I'm going to give him enough leeway, even if it looks a little awkward, that he knows what he's doing. And I've never been a very big fan of Lonzo Ball. Just never really have. So if you could pull in a Okoro for him, I'm kind of like, congratulations, man. You got out from underneath a headache, and you got a kid that really hadn't lived up to possibilities that could be an excellent fit on your team.
When the Bulls traded DeMar DeRozan to the Kings, you know what they got back? Chris Duarte.
I was kind of a Duarte fan, but weren't they afraid they were going to lose him anyway?
But again, is that the max value you can get?
But again, if I can extricate an issue,
like the negotiation process in Chicago is this: it's like, hey,
again,
we got a guy. What will you give us for him? And then you give your offer, and it's a lowball offer, and you're waiting for me to counter. And every time the Bulls go, deal, you got it.
Well, I think Donovan is doing that. I gotta get rid of dudes to get this team better. I'm not going to check out on Donovan. Let's see what the proof looks like next year, because he did get a Giddey who isn't bad, and I think that Okoro in the right situation can go get some buckets. But there's a long way to go there. He's just beginning a process. Got a couple years to kind of get himself out from underneath, and I don't think he has a willing ownership. But I do know that Donovan has won everywhere he's been. He is not a losing coach.
Generally, I agree, and I'm not saying this is all his fault. It just seems like the front office doesn't do the best. Like, I think back when they traded Caruso, he was a valuable asset because
yeah, but I'm not. Hindsight's is not perfect on this. Keep in mind he was a journeyman player who, he was just an average dude that he knew was better than that, and he hoodwinked because he got to coach him back in the G League. But I'm not going to – he's a revelation. I mean, this wasn't what anybody expected to see from Caruso, but he got the perfect dude who knew exactly what he was capable of. That, yes, it is a fault of the Lakers and a bunch of teams that let Caruso go because this dude can't play. So that was man meets moment more than anything else. This dude actually got to coach him out of college, so he knew.
But even at the time that it happened, Alex Caruso, the player, was better than Josh Giddey, the player, and they got.
Well, I don't agree with that.
Oh, I absolutely.
I think Caruso was what we thought to be a known quantity. No, he hoodwinked them, but the rest of the league didn't see Caruso as a superstar either. He was a bit part.
I didn't say he was a superstar, but
he's become.
People
one.
knew he was a defensive anchor.
I don't think it turned anybody's head. In fact, I think a lot of people went. They traded Giddey. Why would you trade your first-round draft pick?
Because he stinks.
No, he doesn't stink. It was a double-double. He was a double-double every game. He didn't play any defense. He didn't fit the mantra of OKC, but the guy can play. He's a young Ricky Rubio. He's going to be in this league for 15 years. So, and you traded him. What a great move.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
What a great move. I think that was a revelation. I'm not out on Donovan. I think he's doing the right thing, and sometimes you got to get rid of dudes for less than they're worth just to get them out of the building.
The Cavaliers, obviously, Lonzo's medical history is worrisome. But the last time he played, he was a baller, and because Cleveland is losing Ty Jerome, I mean, I think the Ty Jerome his value has gotten to the point where the Cavs weren't going to bring him back.
No, but he doesn't replace Ty Jerome's offense. This guy's not here for that. They got eaten up by active point guards. They got eaten up. They're trying to improve their backcourt.
The other thing is, Ball's going to make $10 million this year.
It's a value. That's
nothing. Okoro's going to make 11.
Okoro's ceiling is so much higher. I mean, there's some value in return. Oh no!
Because if Lonzo Ball is healthy,
if healthy, he's got 2 more years. Okoro's an unscratched lottery ticket. This kid got to remember what he was coming out. I just don't think he ever got any room to flourish in the offense and the different coaches he's had to deal with since he got there. I think there's some room for him to really play, especially with a point guard like Giddey. I think that there's some offense there. So they went and got a guy that can play and gave up just a nonstop injury issue. That other deals aside, I think this one, I think you could go high five. I mean, they're better today than they were just because they have a body. I mean, Ball hadn't played.
See, I disagree. I mean, to me, the fact that Okoro was like I said, the 8th or 9th man on a team, no one has to. They all, when you were watching Cleveland play Indiana knew when he was on the floor, because Okoro's one of those guys who stands out there waiting for the ball and no one respects it. Like, they know that he can't shoot, but he still believes he can, so he just stands out there waiting.
You're wrong there. This guy can play. This guy really can play.
He can play. He's a one-way player.
Well, he's an offensive player. And I'm
no,
not going
I
to take
disagree.
Away. He's an offensive
I think he's a defensive-only player.
No, he's an offensive to-the-rim player. I think his defense is the problem.
That's why
he can't get on the field or on the court with those big dudes in the paint. Their defense is set up at the rim, not on the edge. The Cleveland game is funnel them to the paint. Funnel them to the paint and defend the edge. There's not anything other than that. They're willing to let you get that pick and roll, but you're going to have to deal with Jared Allen and Mobley.
Man, I guess we just see Okoro as very different players.
He was a miscast. He was drafted to do one thing, and the team changed, and suddenly they've got guard-heavy Donovan playing back there. He's not that. He's a wing player to attack. He's in the wrong place. Now, he has not fulfilled. He has not lived up to expectations. I'm not singing any other praise other than I'd like to see him in a different atmosphere. But
now you will.
And I think he's going to score a bunch of points for a team that would rather score than play defense. That's more Donovan.
All right, we are running over. I'll try and get us back on clock. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
This weekend is what summer's all about, and Macy's July 4th sale starts tomorrow with deals on everything you need to celebrate. Hosting? Turn your backyard into a party destination with 40 to 50% off outdoor entertaining. Beachbound? Turn heads in this season's hottest swimsuits, sundresses, and more. Get away with the kids? Superpower their summer with 25 to 60% off toys from Nerf. Plus, don't miss Macy's 4th of July fireworks live on NBC and Peacock. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
You know, if I'm not getting any help here.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I got ball joint help, and I appreciate that, Casey, for thinking about my ball joints. But I'm just saying, if, what should I do? I need some advice. I need a professional car person to tell me what I need to do without trying to bend me over.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Well, I mean, Rob, we're both kind of heroes today.
Yeah, see?
What would the afternoon show be without us?
Nothing.
It wouldn't exist
I'm
today.
going to bring every ounce of effort I have left.
We are heroes today because we are saving the afternoon show.
We're filling the gap. We're here to help. Yeah, 2 to 6. Tune in. We'll be here.
You know who's going to be on air on the afternoon show today?
Yeah.
He'll be sitting right here with me.
I haven't been paying attention to the video. I assume that they've been leaving him up. I don't know.
No, they don't like to have him in the
Still,
room.
every day they take him down.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Well, that means he gets his primetime debut.
Yes, and Kitty Big Balls, how do you feel about? Come up here close to the mic. How do you feel about your debut on the afternoon show today?
No, not in Spanish, please.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, thank you. All right, go back up on your shelf, Kitty. You just wait until this afternoon. You'll be a big star someday. All right, here's some not so good NBA news. Malik Beasley is pulling an Ohtani. Apparently, Malik Beasley is one of the. You know what? He's when I was thinking about free agents, he's one of the kind of the big ones. He is such a good shooter. He was like maybe the best shooter available this offseason. And now he's the subject of a gambling investigation from the U.S. District Attorney's Office.
Let me tell you, the U.S. Attorney's Office, they don't prosecute unless it is a slam dunk. They don't lose. They don't bring it to court unless they got you every way but Sunday. They don't lose. They have a 99.9% accuracy. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but U.S. attorneys, if you lose, you get fired.
Yeah.
You get to pick your case. You get to pick all of them. You get to take it to trial. And if you don't think it's worthy, you should never lose. So when they do lose, it's a miracle. If they got you, they got you. And once they release it to the press, you are done for, brother. Done for.
Now, it says here, his attorney, Steve Haney, says, an investigation is not a charge.
No.
Malik is afforded the same right of the presumption of innocence as anyone else under the U.S. Constitution. As of now, he has not been charged with anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that said, the NBA says they are cooperating with the prosecutor's investigation.
Dude.
And the Pistons said, while we were in serious talks on a 3-year, $42 million extension, those talks have now been put on pause.
Sign him to a $100 million deal. Go ahead. You'll be able to avoid it here in a couple weeks. You can make him feel good.
So a sports book, an unnamed sports book reportedly saw unusual betting activity on Beasley props beginning in early 2024. In a January matchup with the Blazers, the odds on Beasley recording less than 2.5 rebounds moved significantly before the game, going from around plus 120 to minus 250. The under experienced a high amount of action, and Beasley recorded 6 rebounds that night. So that, now if people were betting heavily on the under and he recorded 6, we'd go, oh, well, what's the big deal there? The thing is, once the move goes the other way, now the over's juiced up, and there's always potential for things. But
you know, all I know is that sounds on its face like a random bad night, good night, however you want to define it. But I just know how the U.S. attorneys work, man. They got more than that.
I would
this
guess
isn't
so
just
as
a
well.
guess. They've got more than that.
I would guess so as well. This is a guy who, man, Beasley shot a career-high 42% from 3 this year. The third player in NBA history to make 300 three-pointers while shooting at least 40% from 3.
What a tragedy if this is all true. What a tragedy.
It really is. And now this is a guy who's already been suspended once. Remember, he got suspended back in 21 for a gun charge, and he got 120 days in jail on his plea deal, and had to do like an anger management thing, and couldn't have drugs or alcohol. He's been through it before. This is not ideal when you're in the middle of a contract negotiation. I'll say that.
Yeah, you are now untouchable.
I think you might be.
Absolutely.
Unfortunate timing.
I hope this is just an accident, happenstance, didn't matter, didn't happen. But I get the sense there's an uncle driving a new car today.
DeAndre Ayton becomes a free agent. The buyout with the Trailblazers is complete. He is going to be an available free agent.
You're the Lakers, you go get him?
I'm sure they're going to try. I just don't.
Man, I'd go through several different options before I land on DeAndre Ayton.
I'm not high on him. All I know is he was blocking minutes for Donovan Clingan last year, which didn't make any sense to me. But again, the Blazers' strategy never makes sense to me. Like, they could have the worst roster in the league, and instead of just tanking and getting a good pick, they're going to try to win as many games as they can, which, I kind of respect, but also it's like...
Well, they went all in and it didn't work. I mean, they went all in and got Scoot Henderson in that
right.
way. So they're like, you know what, screw it, let's try to win.
But then they drafted this Chinese fella, Yang Hansen, who's also a giant person. There's just no room on the roster for DeAndre Ayton. Finally, they're going to be like, okay, let's get out of this guy.
Well, the sad thing is, when DeAndre wants to play, DeAndre is a very good basketball player. Not a great one, but he's a high-average basketball player when he wants to play. But the problem is he thinks he's a different kind of center than he is.
Well, he was the first.
And he doesn't want to play that way.
And he was the first pick, and that there's always people who are like, oh, well untapped potential. We can still find. At this point, I think we kind of know what he is.
No, we know who you are. He just needs to show up for work. You show up for work, dude, 8 rebounds a night, 10 points, a couple of 3 blocks, that will make you $30 million a year. If he just, and he can do that. You don't need to be a superstar, dude. Look where you're landing.
Two seasons with the Blazers, Ayton averaged 15.7 points, 10.6 rebounds. Unfortunately, in those 2 seasons, he only played a combined 95 games.
Show up for work, brother. Show up for work, and you can be a long-term NBA dude, especially going down to the Lakers. They'll pay you appropriately. They'll ask nothing but showing up for work. You don't got to do nothing
He
else.
is a productive player that is never, I don't think, ever going to lead up to the number 1 overall pick status. But I think, now here's the thing, though. Teams are going to pay for this guy.
Yes.
Somebody's going to pay this dude because, first of all, bigs are hard to find, at least talented bigs or non-plotting bigs. He is not a plotting big.
But his problem is he's somewhere in between. He's a back to the basket dude, but he's not huge. He doesn't have a good 3-point game. His mobility is suspect. So you have to use him a very appropriate way. He's got to be a mid-range kind of guy. He's kind of a lob runner, but not anymore. He can defend everybody, so I like that. He can block a shot or two, and he's gifted as an offensive rebounder. He does have a knack. So there's a place for him, but he doesn't fit the modern center because he's not huge and he's not a jump shooter.
Yeah, he's not, and like
he's huge. He's just not bulky.
I've often talked about what I'd like to see added to the team here in San Antonio. This is not the kind of guy I'm talking about.
Not at all. He's the nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
He does everything the opposite of what we want.
And also, he wants to be a focal point on offense.
Do you think he still does? I hope not.
I think he does. I do think there's something in his mind that it tells him, like, yeah, I could still be this dude.
I used to have a boss tell me, I appreciate your passion, but.
Yeah. I want a guy who understands his job is to only do dirty work.
Show up for work, man. That's all we ask, and we'll pay you handsomely.
What I really want is like a supersized version of Jeremy Sohan. Like, I want someone who's like 7'2" and 300 pounds, but does all the things Jeremy Sohan does.
You never say his name during the game. You just look at the stat sheet, and there's like every box full. Yes, that's exactly it. And that's a luxury, though.
Any basket he makes is only because someone else missed, and he got a rebound and was able to just put it right back in.
That's a luxury. Those guys are hard to come by, especially if you're on a good team.
I want one. I want one here bad. Like I want.
You just want a taller dude. You want a taller dude than we got.
Yeah. Benny says, AJ, just so you can hate Harden more, he has a civil lawsuit pending for negligence at one of his parties in his mansion in Houston. Oh, trust me, I've read all about it. I have a
feeling that's not the only lawsuit he's been dealing with over the years.
He's got a lot going on. Ray says, allowing betting across the board has ruined sports.
It hasn't ruined it, man. Don't go there.
Here's a little secret for you, Ray. People have always bet on sports, and you can say it's ruined sports. Sports are significantly more popular because people can wager on them. The NFL can say we don't like fantasy football. But the number of eyes brought to sports by fantasy football, daily fantasy, sports betting, to any sport really, is massive.
Keep in mind, I am 59. Growing up back in the 70s, when I cut my teeth on being a football fan, I would tune in every morning to CBS's NFL pregame with Phyllis George and Irv Cross and Jimmy the Greek.
Mm-hmm.
And why was Jimmy the Greek on national TV in the late 70s, other than to give us a veiled gambler's approach to the game?
Because they knew.
They couldn't talk about it. The NFL knew what was going on there. A guy named Jimmy the Greek? Johnny Bag of Donuts coming up next with a line on the Cowboys. You want to talk about mob ties out of Cleveland? So the NFL knew exactly what was going on. It grew the game because it opened it up, a veiled talk to everybody who had a little bit of something going on in the game. They acknowledged it and said, yes, we know. We just can't talk about it in the friendly confines. But let's bring on Jimmy the Greek next to give us the weather updates. Yeah.
When Pete Rose got busted for betting on his own team, sports betting was legal in one state. When Shoeless Joe Jackson did it, sports betting was legal in 0 states. So it's a tale as old as time. It's going to be done no matter what. It's just now guys like us can bet on it, but always the rules are you can't bet on your sport. It's not hard. You can't bet on your stuff. This isn't new, and it's not because legalized gambling is allowing it, but because legalized gambling has never been okay for you to bet on the sport that you're playing.
We could argue accessibility, but it's part and parcel to who we are and how we enjoy our sports. It always has been.
There is also there's a company called U.S. Integrity based in Vegas.
They're the watchdogs,
and all they do, the guy that runs it is a friend of mine named Matt Holt. And this guy, literally, his job, all he does is to sit around and see. That's a weird movement. Why is this random prop getting so much action? That's unusual. Why is this random lady basketball game getting 4 times the handle and all of these things get red flagged. and then there's an investigation. The system is set up to keep things like this from happening. What's never going to stop is there are going to be people who think they can beat the system. It's like it's just like drug testing. You know, you can just because you think, oh, I've got this new thing, I'm going to be able to beat the system. I can do steroids. Well, they're going to come up with new tests, and eventually there's still guys getting caught for steroids. How's it happen? Because everybody's still doing it. They think they're ahead of the game, and then at one point you think you're ahead of the game, and the game's caught up to you, and you go down. That's what's happening here with Malik Beasley. It looks like.
Oh man, done and done, baby. You better have a good lawyer.
Yep, and we'll see. I think this is probably going to be the end of him, especially because he's dude. Yeah, I mean.
And the thing is, he plays major roles in games. This isn't kind of a dude coming off the bench that might get minutes. This who was the one that just got popped? Was he with Detroit?
Before Malik Beasley did?
Yeah, that we had the most recent was it the younger brother of the most recent gambling accusation was a bit part player that came off that had some numbers.
I don't remember who it was.
That looked obvious. This is a dude that plays a role in a game, man.
I mean, you and I we went and watched the Pistons and the Spurs in Austin, and we were looking at Malik Beasley going, dude, this guy would sure look good in silver and black. That ain't gonna happen. He might be in orange before long,
and deservedly so.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll finish up the second hour of the show. It is the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Rob reminded me, Jonte Porter. That was the guy that we couldn't think of his name. Also busted. This is a much bigger player.
Oh, by far. 07 would be about the. This would be about at the level, not quite a referee throwing games, but
no,
certainly not a bigger star being involved with.
No, not quite Ohtani level, but somewhere in between.
Does he have an interpreter that he can follow his sword for him?
Dude, I need an interpreter all of a sudden.
I want you to meet Jaime. Use my interpreter.
Well, it's a dangerous.
Handling all my day-to-days.
It's a dangerous time in this country to need an interpreter.
No, he doesn't speak any English.
Yeah, one of the. I called some. I did some ring announcing over the weekend. For a grappling event, like a jiu-jitsu event here locally, and one of the guys that was competing is from Brazil, and he was like, "Yeah, he needs to compete regularly enough that his work visa, he's here as a competitive athlete." Like, he's got to keep that up so they don't come and snatch him out of here. So he's like, he wants to compete all the time so he can stay here and, live in America. But it's a dangerous time to be a foreign athlete in the United States. Not that Malik Beasley is that, but just bring it around to the Ohtani thing and the interpreter. I think Ohtani's safe, but anybody's interpreter, they're very
as
very
long as they
vulnerable.
fall on the sword and get paid when they get out.
Yes. Gilbert says everyone who breaks the law should blame it on the interpreter. That's a good move to have.
I wish I had one to fall on it for me.
I know. If I ever go to a foreign country, I'm going to get an interpreter and blame everything on him.
I didn't speak the language.
That's right. What was I supposed to do? Another NBA story, the Timberwolves apparently giving Julius Randle $100 million.
They're running it back, baby. They saw what Indiana did. They weren't that far away. I'm a little surprised. I thought they might do a little bit more, maybe change out the Naz Reid idea. And Randle, what else are they going to do?
They now have a front court where all three dudes, Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, and now Julius Randle, all make over $100 million.
Modern NBA.
Not to mention they used the 17th pick on Joan Behringer and the 45th pick on Australian center Rocco Zikarsky.
Rocco!
I'm not sure which one of them needs an interpreter, but am I the only one who thinks Julius Randle is a good but not that good player?
I think you've nailed it. But the $100 million deal, we just got to get used to the modern economics. I think he's getting paid appropriately to what he does. It's not that big a deal. It really isn't. I mean, LeBron just signed a $52 million one for a year.
Yeah.
And his effect on the game isn't LeBron's for sure, but he's a guy who you know what you're going to get. He's a black hole. He gets hot some nights. He's never going to lead your team in assists ever, but he is a 25 and 8 and 3 kind of dude, and that's about what you get paid in the NBA to do that.
18.7 points.
Is that what it was this year?
7.1 rebounds, 4.7 assists.
For $30 million? What is it, 35?
But 33 a year.
Dude, that's middle class.
He one of just 9 qualified players to average 18, 7, and 4 last season. So maybe better than I thought. It just feels like, man, if you're a top 10 pick.
He's not a winner, man. He's just not. He's a good basketball player, but he's not a separator and he's not a difference maker. He's just a good ball player.
How much faith do you have in Minnesota?
None. That formula isn't going to work.
Minnesota is the third favorite in the Western Conference, behind only Oklahoma City and Houston, and I'm scratching my head at it.
The formula's not going to work. What's going to change, other than they just hope continuity is enough? And it'll be enough to go to the playoffs. It'll be enough to win nearly 50 games. But do you think that team, that roster as assembled, will win it? Well, it didn't this year. I can't imagine what's going to change unless there's something radical coming down the bend.
The one thing that could change is Anthony Edwards takes the next step, like that everybody expected him to.
And it's possible.
He was kind of expected to do it this year, and he didn't. So if there is another gear to Anthony Edwards that takes him into being one of those 5 best players in the league, into that conversation,
he's going to have to be Shai Gilgeous. And if he becomes that, yes, they are a legitimate threat to win it all because there is enough talent around him. But he is going to have to raise to a level that a year ago I thought he was capable of. This time, not so much. I think I'm getting a sense of who Anthony Edwards is, and he's going to have to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he's any worse than I thought he was going to be, but I don't think the transcendency that I thought we were going to get to see, we did not see it.
Yeah. Agua says on gambling, you both have a point that it's always been in the background. Now you can't watch or listen to a single sports show without getting blasted for ads for gambling.
It kind of sucks. You're right. It does. Says, no one wants to be bombed by it, but that's part of the gig.
I don't listen to sports talk radio with my kids in the car because of it, and you have to be very careful what you let them watch on TV. Boy,
it's true.
I mean, is sports betting akin to pornography?
Well, no, but you want the love of the game not to be the love of the spread, and you want to, you want your kids to, because I mean, there's.
It's entertainment.
Well, it is once you understand the game. I get it. I don't want my kids to think about gambling and who's favored and all of that. I'd rather you learn to love the game and just be pro something. And at some point when you need that extra bump, when it's just the regulars not there.
I got to have that action
for
me to
we
be
all do, but we've been in part of this for 40 years. Let the kids love the game, and then to keep you involved, do that. But I completely agree with that.
I mean, I get in he says due to money involved, sports media makes it very difficult to watch anything without you thinking you need gambling to enjoy it. I mean, I can.
You certainly don't need it, but the older you get, it helps.
I can watch sports without gambling, but it's not nearly as fun.
Well, says the gambler. I mean, there's more people that watch it and don't.
I disagree with that.
Oh, I think your average Sunday afternoon viewer. I think there's more that don't, but it's still hundreds of millions that do.
I think that narrative's switched now. I think because of the accessibility to it, I think a lot more people have money in the game, whether it be on over fantasy 50%. or sports betting.
If we throw fantasy in there, then I will do that. I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's a vast majority have some sort of skin in the game.
Fantasy puts the preponderance above, but I don't look at that as the daily stuff.
All right. Man, we're a quarter of the way through our day, but halfway through this show, we got to hear from the Spurs. We haven't heard from them lately, so they introduced their new boys this weekend. We'll talk to them. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports. on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. If you like what you hear on this program, great news. You'll be able to hear us from 2 to 6 today as well. We've become very, very famous around these parts, and the powers that be said, please, 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 the afternoon show needs a ratings bump. We need something to lie. Dying a slow death. Can you save it?
They couldn't find the answer, but they called us.
And Rob and I, we talked it over. We said, do we really want to rescue these guys? Do we want to be the hand that reaches? You remember the swamp of despair in the Never-Ending Story? That's take the risk. They could pull us down with them. But Rob and I, because, again, we're not heroes per se. Not everyone who does heroic things is a hero, but Rob and I are going to do a heroic thing and try and take care of the afternoon show today.
So what he's saying in short is our boss told us we had to work this afternoon, so we're coming in.
Kind of.
That's kind of what happened.
It's kind of what happened, yeah. Something along those lines.
But it sounds a whole lot more heroic the way you say it.
I mean, well, yeah, until you ruined it.
Well, I wasn't trying to ruin it.
Well, you kind of did, though. You
just kind of like, you guys are working next Monday.
You kind of ruined it.
Oh,
Would have sounded a lot cooler.
Yeah,
but
I think they all saw through us. They know us. I mean, let's be real.
All right, fine. All right, fine.
I mean, we'll work a double. Why not?
We're gonna work a double.
That's just it's all about the payback.
So essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to sit here and let Pledge do all the talking.
Yes, he'll be fine with it. So
yeah. Pledge is this guy. You talk about a guy looking for the spotlight.
Professional
guys like
radio.
us, guys like Rob and I. We like to fly under the radar. We like it when people don't even know our names. But Pledger wants to be a star, and so we're going to let him shine. We're going to let him shine. Vince says, "Dang, the blitz is off." Yeah. Can you believe it?
Yep.
Jason's gallivanting off in the Pacific Northwest.
The Northwest on a lake, crystal clear lake.
Yeah, not Camp Crystal Lake.
Did you see?
Jason Voorhees would be there. That would be bad.
Did you see? He sent us a picture of his. Now this is up in Washington State. It's legal.
Mm-hmm.
So his brother-in-law's garden has like 5 giant weed plants.
I didn't get that picture.
Yeah.
No.
Let me show it to you.
No. Look at Jason.
Interesting world we live in.
A lot cooler than your brother-in-law. I'll tell you that much.
Far cooler. Although I'd measure his medicine cabinet against anybody's.
You didn't tell us how that went. Did you have a great weekend?
I had a fun. Apart from my 4 hour, now you know why I went 4 hours and 7 minutes home. You go up to your brother, your in-laws. It's never normal.
You told me during the last break. Your wife, I get it. She's trying to keep relations in the family smooth, but the thermostat issue. That would be that's a kind of a deal breaker, right?
If you're keeping your thermostat at 78, you're psychotic.
How do you sleep in the night?
I don't know how they sleep. They had kept their thermostat locked at 78.
Did you wake up like sweating?
Oh yes, I was ready to go. Like it's 3 a.m. Like, honey, let's just go.
Let's pack up and go.
Let's just get up and go. This is hell on earth. It is the most miserable experience to be stuck in somebody's house. Just it's hot.
Did you think about turning on the AC?
I would have, but my wife physically stopped me.
Oh, really?
I'm going to get up and turn this down. This is ungodly.
And she said, "Don't do it.
Please don't." So I didn't, but I was out the door by 8.
I would have been butt naked, sleeping on top of the covers.
You're psych, and that's like they say to leave it. So who can live at 78
I
degrees?
don't know. That's nonsensical. Anybody who says set your thermometer or thermostat to 78 is
they're psychotic.
They've never lived in Texas. It's probably fine if you live in if you're in Washington State.
And I'm all about saving money, but here's the thing: up in Dallas, they have an entirely different world in most of the state than San Antonio. In San Antonio, there is one power company. There's one, and you go there, and we traditionally have very good rates, but it's kind of like
your rate is your rate,
and that's what it is. You can't bounce it around. Up in Dallas, you can get those power where you get free power
nights,
all night long,
free weekends.
Turn it down to 50. We don't care. Get one of those, man.
Yeah.
I can survive in the middle of the day at 75, but at night, that thing better. I need to see my breath.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
Where my wife is from in Central Oregon, most houses, like if you buy a new house, they don't have central air. And it's like, what?
I would be very, very concerned. I get it. You don't necessarily always need it, but coming from where I'm coming from, you're going to put some AC in.
Yeah.
Even if it's only 5 days a year, I am never going to live like that.
Yep. All right. Let's I want to take some time to go over the press conference from this weekend with Carter Bryant and Dylan Harper, the two newest San Antonio Spurs. And here's Dylan Harper talking about being drafted by your Spurs.
I mean, first off, I'm just grateful to be in this position with such a great organization. You know, growing up, these are one of the teams you always want to play for, and just seeing their dynasty and just keep wanting to build on them banners like you just said and want to add a few more. So, I mean, it's definitely been great, and I've been having a great time.
And then they talked about the young core that they have here in San Antonio and how he thinks he's going to fit into that.
I mean, I can't speak for Carter, but I think both of us just want to fit in how we're going to fit in, just keep growing and elevating this young core like you just said. I mean, the way they're playing, you can see the flashes, everything else. So for me, just wanting to come in and just whatever coach asks me to do and whatever's the best for the team, I'm going to go out there and do.
Dude, this really is, and I think
it's hard not to be giddy, right?
I'm telling you, I'm irrationally excited about having Dylan Harper here, and a lot of it is, I mean, I told you all year long, I loved his game. I famously, I'm glad I didn't do it on the air, but I'll say it now. But like, I came in one night after watching that Rutgers and Duke played the same night, and I watched both games, and I came in and I told Rob, I was like, Dylan Harper's better than Cooper Flagg. Now, this was early in the season, and after I got more and more time to watch Cooper Flagg, I saw, but it didn't change my opinion on Dylan Harper.
No,
I think this is a special player.
He is, and the thing that separates even that is he's only, what is he, 18? Did you hear that interview? Did that sound like an 18-year-old to
No.
you? This guy is ready for the job at hand and has been trained as such. He is a professional basketball player at 18. He addressed the media well. He answered questions. This kid is ready.
Yeah. I'm stoked about this. They asked Dylan Harper, what comes to mind when you think of Spurs culture? Because the Spurs are one of those organizations where, like, the culture is a word
and
around
sometimes
here.
that's a negative thing.
Oh, it can be.
Kind,
it can be. But I think I think even now, for a team that's missed the playoffs for 6 straight years, the idea that the Spurs culture is still looked at as a positive thing.
Now it's not. Now we get to rest on the culture. At least we've gotten away from that system thing that no one likes to be a part of. No one wants to be a part of a system.
Here's what Dylan had to say about that.
I mean, for me, just really the family atmosphere, just the loyalty they bring in, just how everyone's connected from an organization from 20 years to now. Like yesterday, I'm working out and I randomly see Tim Duncan, Greg Popovich, and Manu Ginobili. Like, that's not something you'll see in any other organization. So just the family, just the loyalty, and just how everyone treats each other with such respect.
That in itself, and it's funny how you see everybody to a man, when players come to San Antonio, they're just astounded by the family atmosphere. Go back and listen to every entry interview from guys that showed up from other teams, other schools, out of the draft. They're always just astounded. Because it is very different in a lot of places, and the Spurs are unique in that, where you really feel like that you're welcome into the fam. And that's kind of a San Antonio thing on top of it.
Now, this is 3 years in a row, and I credit where it's due to the Spurs. Now, year one, and kind of this year too, were both really easy. But, like, obviously, when you had the first pick and Wemby's available, a monkey could have chosen Wemby.
Steph Castle, too.
A monkey could have chosen Dylan Harper at 2, but I mean, I said, man, I think the ideal pick for the Spurs would be Steph Castle if he's there.
And this was before De'Aaron Fox, and he's still an ideal pick.
So, I mean, they've done a really good job of getting the ideal guy for where they're picking for 3 years in a row, which has led to consecutive Rookies of the Year. They asked Dylan Harper if he thinks he can make it 3 in a row for Rookie of the Years?
I mean, I don't think I feel no pressure, but I definitely want to keep that going. That's definitely a goal of mine. But, I mean, probably my biggest goal is just getting better every day and just taking day by day, step by step, and just learning from everyone I can.
Here's what I'll say about this. I would be shocked if Dylan Harper's the Rookie of the Year, and here's why. The Spurs have too much talent now.
Yeah, and Cooper Flagg's going to get all kinds of opportunity.
Yeah, and Dylan Harper is probably going to of the lottery rookies. Dylan Harper is probably going to be about middle of the pack in minutes played.
Yeah,
he is not going to be a guy. He's probably not going to start.
Not initially, no.
So that Rookie of the Year is going to be tough because some of these guys are going into a spot where they're going to be looked at to carry a load early on.
I'll tell you this: if he is Rookie of the Year, Spurs win 50 games.
I agree with that.
If he's Rookie of the Year, the Spurs win 50 basketball games.
I agree with that, man. I mean, I think this was just such a home run for the organization.
Well, let's not forget about this second pick, man. There's something about this cat. I don't know what it is, but I'm buying in. There's a magnetism to this guy.
You know what? Hearing him talk reminds me a lot last year of hearing Harrison Ingram talk. And, like, the Spurs, it seems like, all right, we're going to take the best talent, and then whoever we get is, like, we're going to keep around Austin or whatever. They're going to be good guys. They're going to be guys that are good culture guys. And I remember us sitting at that press conference last year when Harrison Ingram talks. And first of all, he's a really, and I mean, went to Stanford. He's a really smart guy, but also like
a good dude.
Says all the right things. Makes you feel like, man, this is a guy you want to be a part of your community. I got the same vibe from both Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant over this weekend. Here's Carter Bryant. First, he says they asked him, "What'd you know about the Spurs when you were a kid? What'd you know about the Spurs growing up?"
I mean, I don't know too much about the city personally, previous to when I've arrived, but they ran my childhood growing up. I mean, I was a big fan of Kawhi. I loved Timmy D. That was my uncle's favorite player. I just loved basketball growing up. So, I mean, everybody knew who Tony Parker and Manu and David Robinson and all these guys were. So I think for me, just growing up and seeing that dynasty kind of set the path for the rest of my childhood. And obviously you had a lot of great franchises that came afterward, but they were kind of the start of it. But for me to be in the position to get selected by them and being able to continue the legacy of what those before me brought is beautiful.
God.
If he wouldn't have said Kawhi's name, it would have been perfect for you.
Man, there's something about this kid. There's the TV persona. He is going to be a fan favorite. You can just feel it.
Gilbert asks, at the end of the season, will Harper be better than Castle?
Let's hope.
My guess is at the end of the first season, no. I think long-term, the upside of Harper is higher than that of Steph Castle, which is not really a knock on Castle. I love Steph Castle too. But I think long-term upside, there's more with Harper than there is with Castle. So
let's hope this is a true competition. Let's hope this works out where they're fighting to see who's better.
If one of them peaks out, we're in real good shape around here. I can tell you that.
You can see a future where it's a Chauncey Rip Hamilton backcourt for about 5 years of a whole bunch of fun.
Yep,
you really can't see it coming.
And when you got De'Aaron Fox in the mix too, like the ceiling is the roof, as was famously said. And then finally, they asked Carter about his the motivating factor of being a San Antonio Spur.
I think for me, it's just another motivator. I've always been an individual that's self-driven. Always had dreams and aspirations of winning championships, but being able to walk into a building and see these every day, like, it just adds that extra motivation of what you need to accomplish, because it's what the people before you've done, and that's the standard.
God.
Rob loves this kid.
God, let me tell you.
Well, Carter, I think he is.
Did we talk about the sign language? Did you see him hanging around the kids from the
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, boy, we have a new king of SA.
Well, I think he's going to be a king of Austin for a while.
Oh yeah. There's a long way between here and there. But the more I've watched the second half of the season and get away from just the highlights, just go watch him play. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. But, yeah, this is a product that's raw. But
it is a developmental thing. And again, the upside I see, but, man, it's normally – and I say normally, historically, he's the kind of player who would have gone in round 2 But now teams are taking bigger chances, taking bigger swings, and
you're well. I say you. He is lucky that he seems like such a good guy that the fact that he idolizes Voldemort and is going to wear his number, we'll just let skate. I mean, okay, maybe you can fix that number, rectify the problem, bring it back to life.
Well, maybe so. And you know what? Maybe people can, just put duct tape over the back of the jersey. Anybody who hasn't burned them yet.
If you still have your Kawhi jersey, just write Brian on the back.
Just duct tape over it, or masking tape, whatever it is. But like the guys who do the Browns jerseys, the Browns QB1 jerseys.
Find another one, man.
Maybe it is a good thing. All right, let's hit a break. We'll talk about some other stuff that went down this weekend, including maybe the biggest mockery I've ever seen. We'll talk about that next. I got to tell you about Carbach. I had some Carbach over the weekend. I mean, that's pretty much every weekend, if we're being totally honest. Rob went up to Dallas. Guess what? There's Carbach in Dallas. There's Carbach all over the place, man. They're all over the state of Texas. And it's not just in the grocery stores or the liquor stores. You're going to find it out and about in the wild, as they say, at bars and restaurants all over San Antonio, all over our state. And it's whether you're a fan of the Hopadillo or the Love Street, that's their best seller. That's their Cold-style blonde. Ranch Waters, Crawford Bach, Ziegenbach. They don't sell Crawford Bach in Dallas. They've done a smart marketing thing and said, no, we're not going to allow that up there because they know not a lot of Astros fans up in Dallas. But you can still get that Ziegenbach up there. And, guys, this is a fine, fine product. If you're looking to upgrade the beer that you're drinking, Carbach's a great way to do it because first of all, it's delicious, but it's also easily accessible, and that's part of the appeal. So whenever you're out and about this week, you're doing your thing, you're watching your games, go ahead and ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff.
Now we can chill, Mom.
An accident can leave you struggling to pay for medical bills. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe you deserve justice, no matter your financial situation. That's why you don't pay us unless we win your case. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't.
Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. I don't know if you guys were able to avoid it over the weekend. I hope you were. Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Dude, this is so embarrassing at some point. Like, Jake Paul beating his chest, and people are wondering he's wondering why people are booing. I just beat your boy's ass. Do you know how many punches Julio Cesar Chavez landed in the first round of the fight?
None.
0. He threw 4. I mean, it was like it really was like Homer Simpson strategy, like just standing there in the middle of the ring and get punched in the face until hoping that Jake Paul would tire out. And then in round 8, Chavez was like, "Ooh, I'm going to put it on him now." And then he actually won the last 3 rounds. It was so obvious that it was rigged that it's embarrassing. And it's so painful because
who's paying for this?
Jake Paul.
I mean, who's buying the fights? Who's funding this? How is this even a thing that people will pay money to see?
I mean, I didn't pay for it.
But you didn't. No, you didn't.
Somebody did.
Somebody did. And enough people did to where you could justify putting on this trash. It's our fault if people are paying for this. This is what you get. Julio, how? Okay.
He wasn't even trying. It was embarrassing. And like the round by round punch count, it was I get that there are people who will say, well, Jake Paul's bringing eyes to
No, not anymore. Now,
boxing.
I used to take that argument. I used to agree with that. This is not bringing eyes to boxing. This is a blatant publicity stunt. This is not even a fight.
This is the punch count by rounds 1 through 7 for Cesar Chavez Jr. 0 landed, 2 landed, 1 landed, 4, 2, 7, 5.
Maybe next time Jake should fight a kangaroo. Maybe a bear.
Think about that. In 7 rounds, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. averaged 3 punches landed per round.
This is a professional fighter, you tell me.
Yes.
Now, his father is the actual?
His father is Julio Cesar Chavez.
He's just not a Julio Cesar Chavez.
He's actually the son of the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez, who I don't know that he ever didn't land 21 punches in a round, much less. Like it's such the opposite of Mexican fighting. I've never seen a Mexican fighter not throw punches. Like it just doesn't happen.
And I don't blame him. It's not his fault. He didn't go out. They came and found him, and they said, "We'll pay you this much money to stand there and get hit." All right.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else currently. I'm not really worried about Jake Paul's power. So, I'll take 8 rounds of this.
When I was fighting, I would sometimes train with the younger guys who were, and I started at doing some coaching of younger guys who were starting to fight and like kind of learning how to fight. And when you are the sparring partner for guys like that, you're told like, hey, that you want them to feel you, but you don't. This is how you spar with an inferior fighter. Is you might just randomly throw out 10 punches in a round and see how they react to it. Like you want to see how they react to things. If you know you're better than someone, you want to go in there and just kind of play with your food. That's part of it. That's how he fought this fight, except he was getting beat. Like he fought like it was a sparring session, and it's like, dude. And I appreciate the fact that Jake Paul is better at boxing than a lot of people want to admit he is. The dude, for whatever negative stuff there is, he has worked hard to get better
and
at
that
it.
should be the story of him working his way up and going from a guy off the street, an influencer, and turning himself into a professional boxer. And if that was the story, more power to you. But don't feed me that this guy is supposedly worth a crap. Don't try to sell anything other than it's a guy off the street who turned himself into tomato can. Yeah, you can beat other guys off the street, but don't try to tempt me with crap like this and have people pay money for it and say, well, you're bringing eyes to... No, you're not. You're not bringing the eyes you want to boxing. These are the people that are coming to you from someplace else that are just passing through. They are not going to become boxing fans from watching that. That helps nobody but Jake Paul.
And Jake Paul was, I mean, he was exhausted by the end of the fight, even though it was, like I said, a glorified sparring session. And the idea that they're trying to sell us that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez...
It'll never happen.
It's kind of embarrassing, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And, like, if it did happen, there is no question what the outcome would be. It would be devastation. And that's with Canelo being a much smaller fighter.
Do you think that he would be willing to just get his ass beat for the ultimate payday? Or do you think that there's that he truly believes he's worth it?
I think
and can make and have a career doing this, fighting has-beens and wannabes.
So I really do believe that Jake Paul. I am not accusing Mike Tyson of anything. I don't know if Mike Tyson was on the take or Mike Tyson is just that old and CTE'd that he couldn't do anything against Jake Paul. It sure felt like Mike Tyson could have done more than he did against Jake Paul. But I think if you take that one fight out of the mix, I think Jake Paul, everybody that he's fought so far, he legitimately thought he could beat them.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Fury ends up beating him, and I think it pissed Jake Paul off because he thought he could, because he sets everything up to give himself the best chance to win. He fights older guys. He fights smaller guys.
All of that, yes.
The one thing I will say is there is no world, and I could see a world where he says, hey, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., here's the envelope. You know what you've got to do here. There's no envelope he could push over to Canelo Alvarez.
No, it's more about how much are you willing to take to get your ass beat? Are you willing to take $25 million to get knocked out in 45 seconds? Because that's probably what's going to happen. It'll be your biggest payday, but it'll be essentially the end of your professional boxing career.
Now, Chavez Jr. was never good.
No.
He is a very, very mediocre fighter who fought a bunch of tomato cans, and anytime was faced with any kind of guy who could actually fight, he got his ass kicked because he's just not that good.
But his name got him on a card.
His name was very valuable, which is not unlike Jake Paul.
Well, for a minute, I think we have jumped the shark. I think we finally come to the point where, all right, man, enough is enough.
I've certainly gotten to where I don't want to see it.
I'm not going to pay for it.
No way.
So if nobody's going to pay for it, then you don't have a job. I mean, that's the only way you get paid is to convince enough people to tune into the fight, to convince a promoter that you can get enough people to commit to the fight that they will write you a check.
And if you want to question whether or not it was rigged, a guy who couldn't land punches in the early rounds somehow landed like 50% of his punches in the last two rounds.
He was pacing himself.
Yeah, suddenly after landing 21 combined punches in rounds 1 through 7, he landed 40 in the last 3. All of a sudden, my confidence is there. And of course, he loses the decision 8-2.
On the other side of that, there were 7 rounds where Paul could just unload and couldn't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, and neither one of them were like, trust me, this was not a good, like Jake Paul didn't come out of this looking good. Like he looked like he was fighting a guy who was told you're not allowed to fight, you're not allowed to hit him back.
He won't hit you back. So
it's just, it was an embarrassment and a disgrace to the sport, which a sport that's already had its share of,
they're losing market by the minute.
It's a bummer, but I love boxing, and I hate what I saw this weekend. I hated it.
And maybe we need Canelo to put it to bed.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
All right, enough of this. Let's put it to bed.
All right, but that's the thing. Jake Paul's never going to fight someone his age or his size. He's always going to try to get some fading star with a name, and that's not going to. Canelo's not going to lower himself to that. I just don't. I don't see it. Elsewhere, UFC 317 was very, very entertaining fights. My buddy Josh Van got a win on the main card. Now he's next in line to fight for the title, the flyweight title. We may be able to have him on the show, I bet. Before that title fight, they faced off in the cage. He fought 3 weeks ago.
Oh man,
got a win, and then the fight this weekend, an opponent dropped out, so they needed someone to fight the number one contender. Josh is 23 years old, and he said, "I'll do it." So they put him in there, and he beat him. And now he said, they faced him off again. The next fight was the title fight for flyweights. Alexandre Pantoja won that fight, and they had him face off with Josh. So this is the next fight. So Josh Van out of Houston, Texas, 23 years old, is going to fight for a title in his next UFC fight, which is unbelievable. Has a chance to become one of the youngest champions in the history of the UFC. And in the main event, one of my old training partners, Charles Oliveira, fought for the title and was brutally knocked out in the first round by Ilia Topuria, who continues to be the real deal. Moves up from 145 pounds to 155, and in his first shot at the title, wins in brutal fashion and is now a 2-division champion in the UFC.
How do you get knocked out?
Check right hook. Charles, it looked like he was landing some good shots, but this dude just has otherworldly power for that weight class, and he caught him and put him to sleep. So it happens, but Ilia Topuria is the real deal. So that there was some good violence over the weekend. It just wasn't in the Jake Paul fight. So if you chose, I hope you chose wisely. If you chose to throw your $80 at someone, I hope you threw it at the right guys.
Where was the UFC?
In Vegas at the T-Mobile, the big arena.
So it's in T-Mobile, okay.
Yeah, it was International Fight Week, which is like their big event, summertime event, where it's like one of their biggest cards of the year, and they always do that at T-Mobile. Fantastic fight card, but one unfortunate result, at least for the Hoffman family. It was we all gathered around to watch. My boys know him, so we were all gathered around to watch.
At least it ended fast.
It ended fast.
There was no
very.
He didn't suffer.
No, it was unfortunate. Bad way to go out, but that's the game, baby. And that's what he said afterwards. He's like, it's not the way I wanted it to go, but
as long as the check clears.
That's right. God's plan. Sometimes that God, when he gets you knocked out real bad, it's like
it's kind of the job he chose.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is it is part of the downside to that. Every job's got a downside.
One is you get beaten about the head and neck by a professional athlete.
Yes, I hate when
others
that
you
happens.
have to work 2 shifts.
Oh, you're right.
We all have our El Guapos.
That
all
is
of us.
ours, certainly. So I don't know who's got it worse. Charles Oliveira, who was brutally and violently knocked out, or us, who have to work 8 hours on the radio today.
Day.
He only worked like
what?
60 I don't know.
Seconds?
It's like he worked 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. We've got to work.
I can do a lot in 4 minutes. Ask my wife.
Yeah. Well, in 4 hours and 20-something minutes.
No, 4:07, but she had nothing to do with it.
Think about that. You could almost drive back and forth to Dallas in the time that we're going to be on the radio today.
Almost.
Man.
I think that might be a challenge.
We are soldiers, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally fighting the good fight.
I'm going to try not to bleed by the end of the 4th hour.
Yeah. I mean, my voice box is already tired.
Cut me, Mick! Cut me!
I think we'll fight through. I might have a throat lozenge. I might get a massage between shows.
I'm on the HGH.
Edwin, do you want to rub my shoulders between shows?
I'm good.
I'm treating this day like I'm in the middle of the what's the French bicycle race?
The Tour de France.
I'm acting like Tour de France. I'm going to get a whole new set of blood. At
Tour
1
de
o'clock,
France.
I'm going to get transfused, new blood.
I think that's illegal in radio.
No, that's not. You can juice all you want.
Oh, okay.
So I'm getting some new blood and some Mexican monkey muscles, and I'm all over this stuff, man.
Fair enough.
I'm going to be on it.
All right, we got some giveaways to do. We'll do that next. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working trouble spots at 35 Frontage Road, southbound O'Connor to Weidner. On Petranco at Military, minor accident. 90 eastbound at Couples, that's a stall that's now off to the shoulder. On 35 upper level, southbound Alamo to Laredo Street, closed with road work. Traffic still being forced to take the lower level. San Marcos, Hays County, 35 southbound, Highway 123, that's exit 204. Got an accident with 2 right lanes blocked, now a 15-minute delay, stop and go from Aqua Arena Springs. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GiveMeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
This report is sponsored by the International Hot Rod Association.
The International Hot Rod Association Outlaw
Nitro Series
is back.
5 events, 4 locations.
1 explosive season.
Top fuel, funny cars, promos. You are in the stands. Get your tickets now at IHRA.com. That's IHRA.com.
Being arrested isn't just a setback. It's a nightmare that can destroy your life and reputation. At Barton & Associates, we're here to make sure your one bad night doesn't turn into a lifetime of regret. Contact Barton & Associates today at TexasArrest.com. That's TexasArrest.com.
In the 80s, everyone was breaking. Break dancing, that is. Lots of moves, spins, flashy colors, and a whole lot of cardboard. Breaking in the 80s was good, but breaking now, not so good. That's why Dave Ramsey recommends Kinetico water softeners in San Antonio and the Hill Country. Seems like many brands of water softeners these days have flashy lights, sounds, and moving parts. Bad news, all those parts are more likely to break and break and break again. With Kinetico water softeners, there are fewer moving parts, and a Kinetico only runs on kinetic energy and is up to 80% more efficient than other competing models. A Kinetico was built to work, not break. That's why a Kinetico is backed by an outstanding 10-year warranty, and right now receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink, $400 off with a trade-in of any water softener, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. With a Kinetico, you'll have water soft as parachute pants on the dance floor.
KineticoSA.com.
License number 38961.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
Are you an oblivious person hogging the sidewalk like a large dying snail? Do people stuck behind you ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have tons of quality beds at every price. So anyone, even
Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
The right stuff.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s.
Call Right Home Services.
Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. 210-444-oh.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, we're giving away Strange Love tickets. I don't have my. Oh, here's my write up. Hang on a second. What? Strange Love. Here we go. Strange Love at the Aztec Theater.
That is there.
Yes, it is.
They got Electric Duke as well.
The Depeche Mode Experience, Strange Love, with special guest Electric Duke, a tribute to Bowie, July 11th at the Aztec Theater.
Wonder if it's the same dude.
If you don't win your tickets, God, I'd be so pissed. If you don't win your tickets, you can always get them online at livenation.com. You love Depeche Mode, don't you?
I do. I'm a fan. I've seen them several times.
Would you go see Strange Love, a
Maybe.
tribute?
I would hope to think they would be at least a close proximity. I'd like to see somebody pull off a tribute to Bowie. You got to be a flamingo.
That's a tough task.
You got to be able to do a lot of different stuff.
Oh yes, that is a tough task. That would take a specialist.
Yeah, you'd have to narrow it down.
I don't think you can do two bands if you're doing Bowie. But what a man you'd be if you could.
There'd be some costume changes for sure.
Yes. If you want to go see Strange Love, the Depeche Mode Experience, July 11th at the Aztec Theater, let's go with caller number 3. You will win those tickets, friends. Win those tickets. I got a Mellow Mushroom gift card, a $50 gift card. It is a Mellow Mushroom Monday, so we'll do that coming up next. But I always like to do a segment here called Losers.
You lose. You are such a loser. You're a bona fide schmuck.
Time now to find out who blew it this weekend. The Losers.
You bunch of losers! Look who's back. It's the loser. I'm going back to a better class of losers.
With AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hello, losers.
Let me tell you who's a loser. Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame. This Dave Parker, the Cobra Dave Parker, 2-time world champion, MVP winner, batting title winner, multiple Gold Gloves. They finally say, like, a million years after he's done playing, hey, we feel bad for you. We're going to put you in the Hall of Fame. And then the guy dies like a couple weeks before he's supposed to get inducted. This is such a bummer. I feel bad for...
At least he died knowing.
Yeah, but...
At least he knew he was going in.
This is why we wait all these years to tell these. It's almost like MLB saying, "Well, now that Pete Rose is dead, we'll pardon his crimes."
Well, I think that maybe one has to do. No, Dave Parker deserved to be in.
He
I was shocked that he wasn't in.
But yeah, 74 years old, 7-time All-Star, former MVP, and right before they put him in the a 2-time world champion.
I remember with the Pirates.
I don't, but I remember with the A's.
Mm-hmm.
But right before they put him in, the guy dies. Also,
big old boy too, about 6'9", right? He was a big old boy.
He was a big kid, and he had a monster throwing arm, and won the very first home run derby, the inaugural home run derby in 1985. He was the winner. So just a bummer that they waited all that time, and now dude's dead. He doesn't even get his due.
Well, at least I will take solace in the fact that he knew he was going in. Didn't get to put on the jacket.
All right.
But no, it's crime.
Yeah.
It's crime. It really is to have forced him to go through like that. You know, it's tough to call Ace Bailey a loser, getting drafted where he did. But this is such a strange situation. Did you watch the press conference? Are you buying his enthusiasm?
No.
I don't know who's a bigger loser here. I
They're
just can't get over
him and the Jazz are both losers in this.
This is such a weird situation to have put yourself in, Utah. Now, this might all work out fine. He said the right things again, but he didn't say it the right way.
Well, yeah, he certainly didn't say it the right way.
I'm
fact,
really excited to be here. This has been a dream come true. Can't you tell?
He made it kind of awkward. Like, he He just said, like when they said, hey, did you ever consider not coming out here to Salt Lake? Did you ever consider not reporting to the Jazz? And he just said, I'm just blessed to be in the position that I am.
So
No, that was never a thought. It was, I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be in the position that I am.
Okay. Well, we're happy you're here. What do you do to try to win over this 18-year-old kid that you're going to pay $50 million to or thereabouts? Dude, what do you take him to the local TGI Fridays? What exactly are you trying to do to win this guy over?
I don't know.
I mean, you got him for about 24 hours. Let's take him to the very best. What do you think Ace Bailey would like?
I'm not really sure. I don't know if you're ever going to convince this guy, but I also don't. I don't know if you again.
You want to see a go to the top of a mountain?
I think the best thing might have been the best thing for Utah if he didn't show up.
Have you noticed all the blonde women we have? We have lots and lots of. You into blondes?
That's appealing.
Got a lot of them.
That is appealing. But no, I mean, I've said all along I think that he is a loser. But I also think the Jazz are losers for drafting a guy who clearly didn't want to be a part of their organization.
No desire to be there, none. That's got to suck as a Jazz fan.
There was no winning scenario in this situation, at least in my mind. So I don't know what they could have done differently, because you got to go out there and draft the best players, I guess, but I don't know. It's an ugly situation all around. I don't think that there's a win here. I've already talked about the Lonzo Ball Cleveland Cavaliers trade. I looked up what people were saying about this deal, and no one thinks the Bulls got as much as the Bulls got as much as they should have, even for a diminished product.
Got a second overall pick. What, he's 2 years in. For a guy that's on one leg, for a little bit more, they're paying $1 million more for another year. But I mean, it was a salary cap slot for a guy that can play.
He was the fifth pick in the draft. Okoro was. He's 24 years old. Says remains a good perimeter defender. That's been his calling card since he was drafted. He's turned himself into a solid 3-point shooter, albeit on extremely low volume. He only shot 36 3-pointers this season. So not what you want. He's basically a corner 3-point shooter, but most people are saying that they could have gotten a lot more for Lonzo Ball than they did had they traded him at the deadline. I said, yeah. The problem is they just wait until these guys they sell stock at the bottom. Like they are like, okay, our building caught. The Apple headquarters caught on fire and everything burned down. Let's sell the stock now. Like, it's just they've got no idea how to run an organization. The Bulls are one of the biggest loser organizations in all of sports, if not the worst. I think. Wow. I really think they are just horrifically run. They are what the Clippers were 10 years ago.
How long has Donovan been there? 2 years? 3 years?
I feel like it's been longer than that.
He took over for that.
But it's not all. I mean, this is stuff that's happening above Billy Donovan's pay grade.
I agree. I'm just trying to figure out when all this began.
How long's he been there?
Let's see.
It's been a while. It feels like. I mean, it's probably 7 years.
I'm not getting it. He's with the Bulls since 20. He's been there for
5 years.
And he is just the coach, but the guy's been a consistent winner. I'm still going to hang with. I like Okoro. I always did. I've never been a fan of any of the Balls. He was the one that was the best of them all, I think. But he was always. Well, I mean,
LaMelo's better.
LaMelo's better, but he's always been hurt. So we'll never. What my point was going to be, I don't think we would have ever known how good he could have been, because he's just been tragically dinged up from the moment he got into the league.
Well, Billy Donovan, who wins everywhere, has had a losing season 4 out of 5 of his seasons in Chicago. Yeah. Has made 1 playoff appearance and
that wasn't recent.
Lost in 5 games back in the 2022 playoffs in the first round. So maybe the Bulls are wiping the shine off of Billy Donovan. Even
they are.
Like you talk about a loser organization.
Is he still on that team?
Yep. No. Yeah, it's bad.
If they're dealing, I'd call about him.
I will. I like him too. This is not a great thing either. Luis Severino, and the A's are turning into losers. It's a disaster. But now smaller crowds, no air conditioning in the clubhouse. Playing in a minor league ballpark is one of those things that now you've got your players bitching about it. And I think part of it is the A's are falling apart, and as it like on the field, and that's going to get people bitching off the field. But Luis Severino came out and said, feels like a spring training game kind of every time I pitch and every time other guys pitch. It's the same mentality we have to go out there and try to do our best, but it's not been great for us. It's nice. He says we're way better on the road because it's nice to play in big league stadiums.
Well,
you realize though, everybody like all those other teams are having to. You think the home clubhouse at a minor league stadium's bad? Imagine the visiting clubhouse at a minor league stadium. Those guys seem to be doing okay with it.
You know, they did upgrade, didn't they? I mean, they have added something, but they didn't put air conditioning in their.
No.
This is a major league. This is, in fact, the major league movie.
It is kind of.
They're literally playing in like if they're.
Well, they did it. I mean, they've already done that part. They've sold the team. It's going to a new place.
But they're playing in a stadium this year, with the locker room doesn't have air conditioning. Somewhere in the Sacramento farm system.
Yeah. Think about this. Like Luis Severino came up with the New York Yankees. This dude's pitched in Yankee Stadium, and now he is pitching in Sacramento in the River Cat Stadium.
More power to you. Did you see the draft for the NHL this weekend?
I didn't watch most. The Knights didn't have a first-round pick, so I didn't pay attention.
That's the only draft that really hasn't capitalized on the modern draft idea. You notice they're lagging behind.
I think most people don't care. Yeah. Well, Major League Baseball is kind of the same way.
Well, Major League Baseball is so big, you know. But watching the NHL, they're just kind of like a bunch of dudes in a room. It feels like this is what the 1970s were like.
It's because with college football and college basketball, like we know who these players are.
But the NHL fan does.
You know what? I couldn't name anybody who's playing college hockey or like is on a U18 team. I don't know any of those guys.
I guess it must be so much like baseball. I watched a little bit of the hockey just to see if they were doing the same pomp and circ. No, it's just a bunch of dudes. It's like it looked like a kind of a high-end fantasy draft.
It's just like Major League Baseball. I don't know who any of these guys are.
You got guys asking, "Hey, is this guy taken?" "Oh, he is." "Dang it."
Yeah, damn it.
All right.
You in my fantasy league, if you draft somebody who's already been drafted, you owe a pitcher a beer.
Yeah, it's a foul. So and I'm sure that went on. Hey, is that Smith dude?
Yeah,
whatever his name is.
Kraken got him last round,
Damn
dummy.
It.
You owe a round of beers.
I gotta buy the beer next.
You owe a round of beers. The A's have the second worst home ERA in baseball at 5.67. You can guess who's worse than the Oakland A's, by the way.
Well,
the Colorado Rockies.
Well, they're on a rebound, though. They're coming, man. The second half of the season, man, they're on fire.
One-game winning streak.
Yes.
It happens sometimes.
It's happened twice now.
They came back to beat the Brewers yesterday.
Well, that says a lot about your team.
Well, they still won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, but did they win the last one?
No,
they didn't.
Let them get that one.
Well, sometimes you got to give up one for the greater good.
Is Angel Reese still a loser? See that stat line?
Broke a record, yeah. How many of those were off her own misses? That's the big question.
Me bounds, you mean?
Me bounds,
She holds the record for me bounds. She got 24. First WNBA player with 15 or more rebounds in 4 straight games. I guess that tells you how young this league is. That
maybe
doesn't
got it
seem
going
that
on.
Crazy.
Maybe got it going on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think of her. I watch her play and it looks so awful. But then the numbers say that she's doing all right.
I don't know. I think that she has been elevated to a point where she didn't quite deserve to be there. And then you look on the other side of this coin, and Caitlin's season has just been a disaster. I don't want to quite label her as a loser.
And they're still going to try to vote her the MVP.
Yeah, she's already the captain of the All-Star team.
Yeah, it doesn't. None of this makes sense.
I just need more Sophie bathing suit pictures. That's all I'm after.
That's not a bad thing to go for.
I mean, at least something good has come out of this.
Not a bad thing to go for.
The goon can wear a bikini.
All right, we got a Mellow Mushroom gift card to give away on the other side. The last hour of the Morning Huddle coming up, but then we'll become the Afternoon Huddle at 2:00. I'm irrationally excited to have the Morning Huddle in the afternoon. We're gonna show people what's up. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
6 for 6, and the Aggies have the lead.
Your home for Aggies football. KTFM Floresville.
You need to hire. It seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This report is sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Injury Attorneys, available 24/7.
An accident can leave you struggling to pay for medical bills. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe you deserve justice no matter your financial situation. That's why you don't pay us unless we win your case. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com. You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
George gets justice.
You've just been in an accident, and now you're asking yourself, what do I do now? You're dealing with pain, medical bills, and missing work. Dealing with the insurance company feels overwhelming. George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we're here for you. We'll listen and explain your options and fight to get you the justice you deserve. No upfront fees, no stress, just real help when you need it most. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today or visit us at getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Dick's Epic 4th of July sale is on. Get summer ready with 25% off select Stanley drinkware. Get 20% off Igloo coolers and water bottles and select bog bags. Buy one, get one 50% off DSG coolers, canopies, chairs, and water bottles. $200 off Callaway AI smoke irons and TaylorMade QI10 drivers. These deals won't last. Stock up for summer now, in-store or online at Dicks.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Want to know the secret to getting the best price fireworks for the 4th? 2 words. Mr. W Fireworks.
We've got pre-tariff pricing. Only at Mr. W will you find fireworks at the same prices as last year.
We don't charge hidden fees. And we never hike our prices.
Just the lowest prices anywhere, guaranteed.
More fireworks for less money. It sounds good, right? Find our location at MrWFireworks.com.
The secret to getting the best priced fireworks is at Mr. W Fireworks with pre-tariff prices.
Nobody beats our prices. Nobody.
Mom, it's like the 80s in here. It's so hot.
It's totally in the 80s. Our AC is bogus.
Call Right Home Services.
At Right Home Services, we love the 80s, just not on your thermostat. Don't get stuck with a bogus AC. The right AC services, the right team, and the right price. 210-444.
The right stuff. Now we can chill, Mom.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working trouble spots at 35 Frontage Road, southbound O'Connor to Weidner. On Petranco at Military, minor accident. 90 eastbound at Couples, that's a stall that's now off to the shoulder. On 35 upper level, southbound Alamo to Laredo Street, closed with road work. Traffic still being forced to take the lower level. San Marcos, Hays County, 35 southbound, Highway 123, that's exit 204. Got an accident with 2 right lanes blocked, now a 15-minute delay, stop and go from Aqua Arena Springs. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs are getting ready for their summer league. Training camp starts today. They begin their summer at the California Classic. This is Saturday the 5th. They're going to face Miami, then Golden State on Sunday the 6th. Wrap it up on Tuesday the 8th against the Lakers. Then it's off to Vegas, where their play begins on the 10th against the 76ers. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
9:02 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Maybe we should hold on to this Mellow Mushroom gift card and use it for our lunch.
No.
Are we going to give it to somebody then?
We are a show of the people. We've got to give it to the people.
Because you already told them about it.
That was a bit of a misstep.
Could have said, oops. That'll be next week.
We've got one for the afternoon show. I'm not going to tell anybody about that.
Well, maybe we use that for lunch.
It's actually a good idea. Now that I think about
I don't think our suit's going to buy us any lunch.
You would think he would.
I think that would
you
be
think
something.
Dax, if he was listening, you'd think he'd say, you know what, my guys are working hard today. I'm going to buy them some pizza for lunch.
A big old pizza.
But he probably won't.
Probably not.
He probably won't. He probably doesn't think it's a big deal that we're,
I just hope I make it back in time.
If there were pizza here at 1 o'clock, I would certainly be here.
Pizza here, I might hurry home.
That's right. Hey, we've talked about kind of the Celtics being in a position where there's a for sale sign outside. It does seem like the Celtics are looking to move some parts. They've already done some of this stuff. And one of the guys we talked about was Derek White. And the Celtics, while they've been very busy, we saw Drew Holiday go. We saw Kristaps Porzingis go. A lot of teams talking about Jaylen Brown. But
Horford's done.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I guess
he hadn't announced it.
He hasn't announced it. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, somebody might offer him some money. Who knows? He might try and.
But he won't be a Celtic.
Probably not. Yeah. The Celtics informed one team that if they were to part with Derek White, they would ask for a package similar to what Brooklyn got for giving Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, which was 4 unprotected firsts, a pick swap, and a second-round pick.
I like Derek White a lot. I'm on the pro side, but that's too much.
Yeah.
He ain't that good.
Listen, he's better than Desmond Bane.
Oh, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I like him a lot. But he isn't 5 number 1 pick good. You might be 3 number 1 pick good and some talent. You're that good, but let's not get crazy. I know, but this is the starting offer. Of course, I want Mikal Bridges money.
Now, it says that price tag will deter a lot of teams, but if a team did offer the Celtics 4 first-round picks, they'd have to seriously consider it. And
yeah.
I don't think there's any there's like maybe 3 players in the league that if you got offered 4 first-round picks, you wouldn't consider it. Let's say the Warriors came calling with a sign-and-trade deal that would send Jonathan Kuminga and 4 future firsts to Boston in exchange for White.
I think
that may be an offer the Celtics can't turn down.
No
way you can't. I mean, yeah, I'd say let's do that.
And again, I'm very pro Derek White. I think he's really, really good, but let's not get crazy.
Why are they acting like Derek White is Luka all of a sudden? This is
I mean, it's hard to find a dude that does all that, but there's also nights he doesn't show up.
I mean, You can find dudes who do that and trade Josh Giddey to get him.
Well, yeah. But Derek has one of those guys that as long as he's on your team, he will continue to do things to get better. That's just what he is. And because of that, his value's improved, and so is his game. But to compare him to Mikal Bridges, I think is taking a bit of a step.
I'm not looking to pay that price for Derek White. How old is Derek White anyway? Does Derek White just feel older than he is?
Well, because he played. Well, remember he went to a cooking school, Johnson and Wales, and then so he had a full 4 years of school, and he had a full contract with the Spurs and got a second deal before he was moved. So yeah, he's got a 7-year pro, 6-7-year pro.
He's 30 years old. He feels older than that.
Well, once he cut his hair.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. He looks older now.
I feel like the Celtics look at him as probably one of the cornerstones. So I guess they got to treat him as such, even if the talent doesn't match as far as his value to the Celtics. That's about what he's worth, I guess, to them. But it's that
4 first-round picks.
You tell me that
sold.
You're telling me you don't want to move him. So you tell me that. I just can't imagine somebody stepping in.
That's a deterrent.
Yeah,
that's them really saying like, don't bother. We're going to keep this guy.
I have a friend who every time he buys a house, 6 months later he puts a for sale sign out in a crazy amount, and if somebody wants to pay for it, I'll pull it off the market in 90 days and nobody buys.
My grandfather was that way.
Yeah. So if you want to pay for it, it's right here for you.
He wanted to sell things as soon as he bought them. He was like, he would only buy things he thought he could sell for more,
and that's what he's always done.
We didn't talk about the Rockets getting a deal with Jabari Smith done. 5 years, $122 million, fully guaranteed. Locked in through 2031.
This team is loaded up. They have decided this is the Oklahoma City Thunder beater team. They're committed, man. They're committed. I appreciate it.
They believe it.
They're all in.
The Rockets were the 2 seed in the West last year. Lost in the first round of the playoffs, but they were the 2 seed in the West. They go out. They get Kevin Durant. They've extended Steven Adams. They've extended Fred VanVleet. They're keeping Jayshawn Tate, Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, Ime Udoka. They are trying to keep this thing together and add KD in hopes that that's enough to get them over the hump.
Thompson, Sengun, Smith. That's their future. Durant's their present, but they've got their future locked up. Well, they don't have Thompson yet, but they will.
They will. I think Tari Eason, too, a guy that they want to keep
What a
around.
pleasant surprise. Yes, absolutely. This is a team that's decided these guys are good enough to beat Oklahoma City.
I disagree with that.
Well, I don't agree with it, but in their mind, look, they locked them all up. Sengun, they got a good deal for him, man. So they look at this as this is our team for the next 4 years.
Well, 5 years and $120 million for Jabari Smith isn't
a good deal.
Bad. We talked earlier in the show about 3 years, $100 million for Julius Randle. I'd rather have 5 years, $120 than 3 years for $100 for
absolutely
just any time.
So, but what this tells me is ownership. What's his name? Tillman.
Yeah, Tillman Fertitta.
Tillman's telling Ime, this is your roster, baby. I've given you everything you need. There's nothing. There's some pieces and parts we'll fill in every year, but you've got your 3 dudes locked in, and I went and got you a superstar. I got rid of the guys that might have slowed you down, been a locker room issue, and Dylan Brooks. But here we are. This is your roster, and for 3 years, you're going to go to war with them.
Okay, let's play a little game here. The Rockets last season won 52 games. Will they win more or fewer than 52 games this year?
I would peg it at like 52, 53.
Okay. So they went out and traded for KD. They're re-signing all these guys.
This ain't about regular season.
And it's not getting any better.
This isn't about regular season. This is about you better win 2 playoff series with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah. The regular season seeding matters about who you're playing because you do want to be at home. But, Ime, this is his team. You've got Sengun will always be movable. That's a movable deal. But this is a team that's loaded up. This is it.
Although I think Sengun is a guy there, I would not want to move on the Rockets.
But they got him on a good deal. In a couple years from now, if you still feel short, you've got another chance. But I think what they found out this year is they thought Jabari Smith was going to be their best player long term, but Ahmed Thompson is the dude.
I
think
Ahmed
they
Thompson.
realized that Ahmed Thompson really has the biggest upside of this roster.
I think Thompson and Şengün are their two best players.
And those are really the future. And Jabari came in cheap, and I think they told him, look, you want to be along for this ride? You want to be J-Dub? Because you could be, but you're not good. We have decided Ahmed Thompson is a two-way baller who we expect to step up next year, and I expect to see it too.
And I think, quite frankly, I think if he had given pushback, I think we could have seen him be the guy moved for KD instead of Jalen Green.
And I think he saw the writing on the wall. And he's a good young player that's kind of lagged. I don't think he's a disappointment by any stretch, but he hasn't really been everything they hoped. He's still growing in his game. He's still got all that stuff we saw in Bama. So I still think that's a good move, and more appreciative than anything else of teams are now deciding, look, we're going to load ourselves up and give it a couple of years. We're not going to be, let's try to fix it over and over. We're going to follow the Indiana model, watch Detroit finally get things right without having to go too crazy with their roster. Just let's keep the guys we like and cycle through the guys that we're not sure of. And it seems to be the method.
Also,
continuity.
I mean, while his stats haven't been mind-blowing, we got to remember he was the third pick in 2022. The way the NBA works now, the idea of a rookie being like a mega impactful player, it doesn't really happen anymore in the NBA. It rarely happens anymore in the NBA.
It's not. You got to be touched by God. And also, he came out of that G League Ignite system that really it didn't work. These guys weren't better. They weren't better than college guys. They seemed, you look at Scoot Henderson and there's been another couple that have been highly drafted and grown into it, but it looks like that there's a reason why this thing failed.
But I think most of these guys, you're going to start to see them really turn into what they are 3 or 4 years after they're drafted. Mm-hmm. It's like, again, I'm not trying to say this as a knock to Steph Castle. I love Steph Castle. I wanted him here. I think that he's a great piece for the Spurs. But what he did last year, when I was a kid, that wasn't winning Rookie of the Year. Like, if you had to show up and be like, right away, the dude, and he was like,
when you were a kid, they were rookies of the year were 23.
Right, that's the thing. Like now, it's guys. These guys are 19, and you're not going to turn into what you are. And you know what? When I was a kid, Cade Cunningham would have been a rookie last year.
Right.
And Cade Cunningham would have been the Rookie of the Year last year.
After 4 years at a great D1 school going through the wars, he'd have come out ready and a fully formed basketball player.
So my mind is just got to change to being a little more patient. And Jabari Smith, maybe he is still getting better.
Yeah, here is the conundrum, though. You have to decide at the end of the second year. Even though the brisket is still baking, you still got a thermometer in there. You've just about gotten to the stall. If you've cooked a brisket, you know what I'm talking about. Where the heat is on, the player has reached this level, and you're not, you see it getting up to 205. It could get up to 205, 204 soon, but you're hanging around about 190, and I got to make a decision. I got to pay him today. And is this going to be a 205-degree brisket next year, or am I still going to be stuck in the stall paying this dude $50 million a year while he's still learning? That's that second-year decision that is the make or break for general managers now. You got to decide quick.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll see what's going on in the world outside of sports. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working an 18-wheeler accident on 35 Frontage Road, southbound O'Connor on down to Weidner. There was a heavy-duty wreck around the scene, so that should clear soon. Downtown, that's a closure on 35 upper level, southbound Allenwood to Laredo Street due to ongoing road work. On Highway 90 eastbound at Couples, this stall is now off to the right shoulder. And in Comal County, New Braunfels, 35 northbound Soames Road, disabled vehicle off a main lane, now off to the right shoulder. Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
Alex, hello. We've been trying to track you down. I don't know if you've noticed that. Do you have any idea why?
Something to do with the radio thing.
Every month we're doing a giveaway. GiveMeTheVin.com.
Giveaway? What you giving away, man?
$25,000.
Alex Jackson of Pensacola, Florida is the latest winner of Give Me the Vin's Big Cash Giveaway.
Are you for real?
Every time that you sell a car to Give Me the Vin, you go into a drawing for that month. And, dude, you won.
That's great, man. I'm having a baby boy in about 3 months. That's a lot of diapers, man.
Name him John Clay.
Okay.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to givemethevin.com.
Your marriage is over. You know it. Your friends know it. Take back control now with Barton & Associates, an aggressive, no-nonsense team of attorneys ready to fight for what you deserve. Contact us today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
This report is sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Injury Attorneys, available 24/7.
An accident can leave you struggling to pay for medical bills. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe you deserve justice no matter your financial situation. That's why you don't pay us unless we win your case. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4th of July sale and get 30% off paints and stains June 27th through July 7th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Find what you love what you find. A total wine and more. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and
Hey, I forgot to give away that Mellow Mushroom gift card. I guess I better do it. I hyped them up. It is a Mellow Mushroom Monday. $50 gift card to Mellow Mushroom up there, 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. One of my favorite pizza joints in town. Let's go caller number 2. You're going to win that $50 gift card to the Mellow Mushroom, or as my kids call it, Mellow Mush.
I'm not sure that's an improvement.
I don't know. I just
Mellow Mush.
Mellow Mush. Kids be kidding.
Have yourself some of that beer cheese and the.
Oh yeah, pretzel
that's
bites.
Not even the pizza. That's just the entree. That's just the starter.
Okay. I like to see what's going on with the world outside of sports, and there's some scary things going on. I noticed over the weekend, some real scary things over the weekend. Let's start with a woman allowed her 10-year-old child, to drive a car in Scotland. Now, Sophie Lee Gemmell, who's 32, admitted culpable and reckless conduct after footage emerged of her allowing her 10-year-old daughter to drive the car barefoot and in bad weather. Now, she admitted culpability and recklessness with utter disregard for the consequences. Now, particularly because the weather was bad and the kid was barefoot, they're making it sound even worse. But the thing is, the worst part of all of this is the incident with the video of the incident that they busted her on is one that she recorded herself and posted to social media.
Was she proud of her daughter's driving?
She was cheering her on. Now, mind you, it was in the dark. The wipers were going, like it was raining, but the girl was using the blinkers, and she was like peeking up. She's like this, peeking up over the steering wheel.
How old were you when the first time you drove a car?
Probably about 10 or 11, but it was a farm truck.
Yeah, me too. About 10 or 11 driving on a farm field.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have been on a road.
No. But I also, like, by the time I was 10, I was driving three-wheelers, and, you know,
for those of my age, I heard that, and I thought, well, you know, it's crazy, but it's not, you know, lots of country folks.
But driving through town at night in the rain?
No
way.
Not being posted on Facebook for sure. I was wondering if she was like sitting in her lap, like having some fun.
No.
Shift. You know?
No, it's her going, put your blinker on, honey. All right, I guess Scottish. Put your blinker on. I don't even know how to do Scottish. They sound crazy. But, yeah. Not wise, guys. Not wise. There was a gunman who was in Michigan. Guy was in a bank, and he was in a hostage standoff. The man's not been identified. He was in Saginaw Township, Michigan. And shut down a whole town for hours, and the guy was making his demands. And
what were his demands?
Well, he said, "I'm really thirsty," and the police said, "Well, listen, we don't feel comfortable bringing," and he didn't feel comfortable having police close to him. And the police said, "We don't feel comfortable having our guys close either." So he's like, "How about we've got a drone, and it can deliver you a drink." And he said, "That sounds really good.
Okay.
That sounds really good to me.
Load up the death drone."
And the drone landed right outside the door. The man opened up the door.
Does he not have TV?
And the police promptly shot him and killed him.
Do you not have TV?
I don't. Listen, man. No, I'm the freed hostages were taken to the hospital. None of them had serious injuries, so it all worked out all right. But this reminds me of when I was I don't know how, I love serial killer documentaries and stuff like that. The BTK killer. I don't know if you're familiar with the story
Kill, Wichita, Kansas,
of how he got caught.
Yep. He thought you're not gonna track this disc, are you?
He literally asked the police. He's like, shoot me straight here. He was getting older. He said it was becoming difficult for him to leave like his notes all around the place, and he's like, if I put something on a disc, you can't track me, right? No. And the police said, no, man, you're free to do what you want. So he went to the church that he was working at and sent his communication to the police. He wrote stuff up on a disc, sent it to them. And, of course, it gets back to the police figure it out quickly that this is the BTK killer and he's under arrest. The guy made it for like 30 years not being caught by the police.
You're not going to jack with me, are you?
Now, if I do this.
No, I wouldn't track you.
You guys you're not going to bust me with this computer disc, right? You can't track this, can you? And they're like, no, we wish. And he said, all right. That's like, we'll bring you a drink with the drone. We'll set it right outside. Nobody's going to bother you. and then you get your head blown
we're
off.
playing fair.
Guys, the cops will lie to you.
Yes.
Like, if you're a bad guy, don't trust the cops. Just saying. I'm not trying for the bad guys to win. Like, I'm glad that the BTK killer was captured. I think he's a bad person generally.
Not just generally.
Yeah.
I think in totality.
Yeah. Bad guy.
Bad guy.
And this guy who
he still trusted the cops, which you got to like.
This guy who had hostages, probably a bad guy. I mean, you don't rob a bank and take hostages if you're a good guy. So you kind of get what you get, but there's a lesson to be learned here about who you can trust.
You're not going to shoot me, are you? Oh, no.
So if you bring me this water and I go out and get it, there's no way you have a gun that could reach me, right?
I'm not even sure robbing a bank's illegal anymore.
The police are like, listen, man, we don't even have guns in our police unit. Not guns that can shoot that far. You know, what do you think this is?
Send you this drone, though.
Yeah, you'll be all right. Yeah, it didn't work out for the guy. He is now a dead bad guy. So sometimes it be like that. Now, you may have thought earlier that the mom who let her kid drive was the most irresponsible mother you'd hear about today. Au contraire. We go to Arkansas, where Deanna Sue Woods was sentenced to prison on Wednesday.
Deanna Sue?
Deanna Sue she admitted to allowing her 3 children, age 6, 10, and 15, to consume marijuana in various forms, including honey and chocolate edibles, as well as drags from her own vape pen. She will now serve 120 days in jail, 60 days of credit, followed by 60 months of supervised probation and a no-contact order with her children. In January, a Department of Human Service employee spoke with Wood's 6-year-old daughter, through whom they learned that her mother had been allowing 3 out of the 4 of her children to ingest marijuana. The young girl was quickly taken for a drug test, which confirmed she had THC in her system. So, of course, because she has a valid medical marijuana card, after she talked to the police about what's going on, she said, well, yeah, I give them the drugs so it will discourage them from wanting to do it later on in life.
I'm backwards thinking, but
I don't know if that's how marijuana works. Like, if my dad would have given me marijuana at age 6 or 10 or 15, I might have said, man, I really like marijuana, and continued to do it. Now, while she said she had also admitted to smoking marijuana herself, often around her 1-year-old toddler, even claiming she had smoked marijuana while breastfeeding. So she's a serious pothead.
She's got some very quiet, hungry kids.
Yeah. My kids are hungry all the time.
They just lay around, but
I can't even imagine if my kids smoked weed. Talk about
6 cases of Doritos this week, please.
Boy, how many gallons of chocolate milk? How many times will they have to go to Whataburger or Freebirds on any given day? My kids have started going to Freebirds on buy one, get one day for themselves.
Like, I'll just eat them both.
Yeah.
Those are the good old days. Those are the good old days.
Crazy.
They call it stacking plates.
The Beauty and the Geek star has been charged with a murder of her boyfriend. She was seen with her head shaved, acting oddly in the weeks beforehand. Police are still searching for Julian Story's head.
What is Beauty and the Geek? Is this a TV show?
A TV show.
All right.
Tamika Chesser is the gal's name. She's accused of killing him, decapitating him, carrying his head in a bag to an unknown location, and dumping it.
So I guess the marriage didn't work out.
This is in Australia. She starred in season 2 of Beauty and the Geek in 2010. And she's a
was she a beauty?
I'll show you a little.
Yeah. Well. Yep.
Just so you guys can.
She's been augmented.
Yeah.
But
and
good work though.
Yeah. And her boyfriend, 39-year-old man, lost his head over it. Now she was seen wearing after shaving her head. She's since been seen in a wig. But, yeah, I don't like it when hot chicks cut people's heads off.
There's got to be more to this story. I cannot wait to hear the rest of this.
We will find more. Police are alleging that Mr. Story was murdered on June 17th, but no one knew until June 19th. Were alerted to a fire coming from within. This is a fascinating story. I want to know why she cut his head off, and she's kind of, with the exception of one body part, she's relatively petite. It seems like it would be like cutting someone's head off is like a laborious task.
He was a geek.
Well,
by all accounts.
I don't know that that's where she found him.
Oh, this isn't the geek?
I don't think this is the geek. This is just the beauty
just a dude
who killed a dude she dated later on in life. Yeah. But that's also why you can't trust really hot chicks, because typically we all know about that scale of hot to crazy, and the lines go up together. It's without question.
This kid looks like kind of a geek. Maybe it was a type.
Maybe so. Maybe so. And a serial killing has happened. Police were called to the Gilster Mary Lee cereal plant last week and found a man that was stuck in an industrial oven.
Oh.
And 38-year-old Nicholas Lopez Gomez from Guatemala.
We get one or two of these a year.
He was working under the alias Edward Avila, got stuck in the oven and died in an unintentional serial
horrific death.
Killing.
That is a serial killing. I get it.
I would be really pissed off if I got stuck in an oven. That's the worst way to die. It's got to be top 5.
I can't even imagine. Man, that's literally the worst possible way to go out.
And imagine it's like a real gross cereal in there with you too. Like not even like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something good where it smell good. It's just some gross cereal. You're dying while it's like Raisin Bran all around you.
Dude.
No, not good. Not a good way to go. All right. Let's take our last break of the morning.
Then we'll have a long break.
We'll take a nap, and we'll come back recharged and ready to rock and roll. But we'll do what we always do to wrap up our show, and we'll take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Yeah, she'll get you out of that car, too. You're still going to be upside down, but you'll have better ball joints.
Well, it's always good to have better ball joints. Can you have better ball joints at my age?
You just got to oil your ball joints. Make sure they're properly lubricated.
But that's the guy at the service department's job. And he didn't say anything about lubing Reinigle's ball joints.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to billshappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
Bills Happen is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to billshappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Breaking news. This is a huge breaking news story. The WNBA, the Lady Basketball Association, is going to expand to 18 teams by 2030. 18 teams. If I'm still on the radio in 2030, which who knows, but I got a feeling we'll be talking about, like, you remember when the WNBA was big for 45 seconds? And then they got too big for their britches and, like, tried to expand to 18 teams. And then the WNBA by then will be down to, like, 6 teams.
To give you an idea where the WNBA is going, the average WNBA team now is valued about $269 million. That's a 180% increase over last year. To give you about an idea where it was and where it's going. So right now, this is one of those opportunities to buy in. You can buy a franchise for under $300 million. They've got a TV deal that will guarantee you break-even money. You don't even have to sell a ticket. You're only paying $75,000 at most to your talent. You're only employing about 100 people.
But how long does that last?
Well, that's just it. Now's the time to buy and get out later and sell in about 5 years, because I think that there probably is enough talent to sustain 18 teams. There's not enough to go to 20. There's just...
Dude, I think maybe 12.
Well,
and they're already at 13.
And I'm being realistic when I'm not being. Well, I think that there's still some talent coming. I do think this sport is kind of growing. But the problem is, you can foresee where the roof is. There is a ceiling. There's only so much of the sporting pie to go around. And there is a level at which they will never cross. No matter how good or big they get, there's only so far and so much that fans will do to follow you.
So Toronto and Portland start next year. The president of the lady basketball team in Portland parted ways with their president over the weekend, less than 3 months after hiring her. He's, I'm not going to say. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about that. But either way, Portland and Toronto will have teams start up next season, and then the 3 new announced teams are Detroit, Philly, and Cleveland. Cleveland will start in 2028, Detroit in 2029, and Philly in 2030. Again, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a seer. But this ain't going to work out long term.
Well, you have to qualify what you mean. The WNBA is never going to shut down. It's going to find it's finding its spot. But don't expect them to surpass baseball. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
No.
But I do think that there's room for growth. But their key will be, and it's strange how they're having. I mean, the key will be to maintain this rivalry, keep Caitlin Clark front and center, and maintain some sort of high quality, at least championship playoff kind of fun basketball. If you can do that, I think that there's lots of room. If I had the wherewithal, I'd buy a franchise. If you can get into a professional sports franchise for under $300 million that already has a 5-year guaranteed TV deal, I mean, already in place, it's a license to print money. You're not going to lose money. Now, you might not make it as much as other franchises, but this is already in place, man.
Do you know what the WNBA needs? They need Caitlin Clark to start being better at basketball.
They need that's the crazy thing
everything
about
relies on one person, and
it's such a mess right now at Indiana. The coach is weird. There's all kinds of weird drama above and beyond the manufactured rivalry that we have between Reese and Clark. It's the Fever franchise is weird. There's a lot of stuff undercurrent to this league that needs to kind of settle in. It still feels like it's kind of a barnstorming league. You got coaches mad at reffing. You got coaches coming and going. And did you hear what the coach said about Caitlin Clark being the general manager? See how that works out for her. Like is she talking about her player like she's got too much power already in Indiana?
I don't know.
Very strange circumstance with it's growing pains across the board, but they are growing pains. It's not contraction pains.
In the last 6 games, Caitlin Clark's averaged over 6 turnovers per game.
Terrible she's playing right now.
The basketball is the quality is it better than it was? Sure, maybe. I don't know. I think convincing people who don't have daughters that this is a product worth watching is going to be very difficult. It really is.
I think it's one of those sidebar sports, and it will always be that. It'll never be front and center mainframe. It'll always be the second thing, the third lead on it, your sports center. But when it's your team that's winning, they'll get their credit in their individual towns. It is, in fact, what it is. And it's going to continue to grow, man. And we're going to have to accept the fact that the league is finding its niche. And they do have as much popularity as soccer. I can tell you that.
I don't know about that.
You know, as far as TV viewership, I think more people watch basketball than soccer.
No.
You don't think so?
I think more people watch. I think maybe their audience may be about what the MLS audience is, but not like international soccer.
No, that's what I'm talking about. The American
audience. Because I was
going to
say, there's a lot of American audience that watches international soccer. You go to bars at like 7 a.m. on Saturdays and see a bunch of people. But
I'm talking about Northwest Soccer, the National Women's Soccer League.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
MLS.
similar.
Our American soccer, I think it's right there with them, and I think that is a testament to what a good job they've done.
Elsewhere in the world of breaking news, the Dolphins have traded Jalen Ramsey to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Steelers are turning into the old man team.
It is.
What's
the old folks' home. What's the retirement center?
That movie with all the old superheroes that had Sly Stallone and
the Untouchables.
They're turning into the Untouchables. No, it's the. That wasn't it. It's
no, not the Untouchables. You're right.
Something like that. It's all the old dudes. One last run. Come on up here, Jalen.
The Expendables.
Come on up here, Jalen. Let's run one.
Yeah. That is that's an old school team. Good luck to the Pittsburgh Steelers with Jalen Ramsey. Maybe he'll probably fix everything.
Oh, this is going to be a gift that keeps on giving.
But also, Miami's going to be so bad. I'm telling you guys now. Write it down. Miami is going to be a disaster this year. Which is, I mean. I don't know who's going to be the worst out of The Bills to win the division should be minus $1 million. There's no other team with a possibility. Like, even if Josh Allen's head fell off, the Bills would win the AFC East.
I appreciate the admittance that they're
the Patriots, the Jets, and the Dolphins are all just disasters.
It's setting the table, man. It's setting the table for your team. It's setting the table for Buffalo.
Well, they better find a way to make it happen. All right, let's do what we always do and take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's see. The win totals for the AFC East. I can't imagine. These have got to just be complete disasters. How do I get over to them? Where's New? Okay, Bills are set at 12.5, which
it's about to go up.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The Dolphins are now sitting at 9.5. There's no.
They're not going to win. They're not going to win 10 games. I can guarantee you.
Oh no, 7.5.
Okay,
I was wrong.
There you
7.5. That sounds about right. Okay. I don't know if they're winning 8 games even.
No.
That seems a little bit of a stretch. The Jets. Where are the Jets? Oh, here we go. Jets are sitting at 4.5. No, they're at 6.5. I don't know why these numbers are so weird on this site. 6.5 for the Jets. The Jets ain't winning 7 games. And then the New England Patriots are set at 8.5. Do you picture a world where the Patriots win 9 football games?
Well,
now, mind you, they all have to play each other twice.
They do,
so that helps.
So there's some wins in there, but there is the thought that this could be this year's Washington, that the quarterback gets another year, a little bit of talent around him, not the same kind of quarterback, but 9 games doesn't seem outrageous to me.
It does to me.
Again, they get to play some
bad
teams
win more than
in
you
their
lose.
division. Well, yeah, they get to play some bad teams in their division. If they do get better, sometimes at the end of the season you get those gimmies when teams are playing their third stringers. So I do think there's a path out there to see 9-10 wins from them.
All right. Major League Baseball today, Matt Waldron and the Padres are in Philly taking on Zach Wheeler and the Phillies. I'm going to go the Phillies are minus 225. I feel like under 9 might be a good play here. 9's a big number with Zach Wheeler on the mound. Phillies send their best pitcher. I know Waldron's not anything to write home about, but 9 still feels like a pretty heavy number in that one. Andrew Haney and the Pirates, they host Eric Fetty and the Cardinals. That's a pick 'em minus 110 both ways. Carlos Rodon and the Yankees are in Toronto taking on Max Scherzer and the Blue Jays. I don't really follow. What kind of year is Max Scherzer having? Like, I know you've got your.
Let me give you
the Yankees are minus 145 favorites, but Max Scherzer at home is plus 120. Like most years, if you tell me Max Scherzer's a home dog,
he's not done much. Doesn't have anything. He's 8 innings pitched so far this year. Got a 5.6 ERA, a 1.5 WHIP, 5 Ks, but that's really in just
probably
game.
1 or 2 games.
So
yeah,
he's just kind of rounding into form. And Rodon's 9-5, and coming off. Let's see what his last outing looked like. 6 shutout innings against Cincinnati.
Chase Burns of the Cincinnati Reds, who came in. Started his first game last week, his first major league game. He was like the number 3 prospect in all of baseball. He's a plus 150 favorite, or a plus 150 underdog today, mind you. Underdog at Boston. Garrett Crochet going for the Red Sox. They are minus 180. Garrett Crochet has been filthy good. Lower ERA than Skubal even. Unfortunately, the wins don't come for him because the Red Sox stink, but Garrett Crochet has been playing really well. Jacob Lopez leads the Sacramento Rivercats. The Oakland Athletics, the A's. Jacob Lopez plus 145 in Tampa, taking on Drew Rasmussen and the Rays. That's the worst part too. Think about for the A's, they're like, oh, finally we get to go on the road, so we don't have to play in a minor league stadium. And then you go to Tampa, and you've got to play in a minor league stadium, a spring training stadium.
And you'd think if you got to play half your games there, that little short field, you get to pad your stats, but that hasn't been the case at all.
Yeah. The Baltimore Orioles send Trevor Rogers to the Hill for a holiday matchup. He's minus 115 because it is Patrick Corbin Day up in Arlington. Let's hear it for Patrick Corbin Day.
He's got 6 strikeouts in him?
Patrick Corbin?
Just ask him. I didn't think so either.
Are you crazy? He's going to pitch 3 innings. If everything goes right, like Patrick Corbin Day's been going, he'll be chased. Patrick Corbin Day started to become a thing again. He was acting a fool early in the year trying to win some games. Now he's turning back into Patrick Corbin.
He's playing for the Rangers. They'll bring you back to the pack.
The Orioles kind of stink, though, so I wouldn't be like running to the window to bet this thing. But it is Patrick Corbin Day, so I'll probably back the O's. Logan Webb and the Giants minus 130 on the road in Arizona, taking on the Diamondbacks. Ryan Nelson, they are plus 110 home dogs. And the Royals send Michael Waka to the Hill to take on the Mariners and George Kirby, Big Slim George Kirby. The Mariners are minus 165 favorites in that matchup. So there you go. Shortened slate in Major League Baseball today.
Short day today.
It's Monday. That's the way it.
Well, they're deferring to Wimbledon.
Oh,
I mean, that's what really matters.
My apologies to the Queen. It is Wimbledon week. And you know what that means, friends. The world is watching, right?
Tennis on grass.
You love it.
And what's the peaches and cream? And what's the drink they have? Aperol Spritz? Is that what they're drinking?
I don't know what. They're probably drinking some fancy stuff like that. Let's see if we can. Who's our favorite to win Wimbledon? Your favorite. Carlos Alcaraz, plus 120.
I thought he was just on clay.
Well, I mean, maybe they think his game translates because it's the slower surface. I don't know. Yannick Sinner, 2-1. Novak Djokovic, plus 650. Jack Draper, 18-1. Alexander Zverev, 25-1. And I only kept going because I wanted to say this guy's name. Alexander Bublik, 40-1.
That's an unfortunate one. Do you ever bet tennis?
Bublik. No, but I have a friend who makes a lot of money betting lady tennis.
I bet you you can get into the nitty-gritty.
The ladies Wimbledon. Let's see. Now we did see something unprecedented. Coco Gauff actually won a tournament.
Didn't choke. We're quite impressed.
It's her second win in the history of time in a major. Will she do it again? My guess is no, but she will be the third favorite. The favorite, Aryna Sabalenka, who I find mildly attractive, is plus 240. Elena Rybakina is plus 550. Coco, 8-1. Iga Swiatek is 9-1. Mira Andreeva, 16-1. Madison Keys, 16-1. Marketa Vondrousova, 18-1.
I think you're making this up.
And Jessica Pegula, the daughter of the owner of the Buffalo Bills.
You know you're going to put
22-1. No, she's not very good. Well, I guess she's good.
She's actually
but she never wins. She's always the bridesmaid. She's just like the Bills.
Well, we talked about this earlier about how gambling can pique your interest.
Oh, yes.
So today, just to pique my interest in on the Wimbledon, I'm going to put some money down just to see in my DFS. So
on Varvara Grasheva?
No, I have
700-1?
This is on total games won today.
Okay. Who are you betting on?
I've got Alejandro Davidovich Fokina.
Is this man tennis or lady
tennis?
This
is men today. And I have him winning less than 20 total games.
Who's his opponent?
I don't care.
What?
And then I've got Chun Hussein Singh.
You're throwing darts, Bubba.
Well, no, actually, I looked at their previous matches on grass, and they have consistently underperformed. So we have him at 18 total games.
What's this guy's name?
Chu Hsin. That's Hsin. Tseng, Tseng. I have him winning less than 18 total games in his.
He's a big underdog.
Yeah,
and he's minus 450. But that match won't happen until 4:00 in the morning. By the way. I don't think you're going to watch that.
I'm going to be up now. I've got money riding on this, man.
After an 8-hour work day?
That's how you grow your sport.
No chance you'll be awake.
Play some pennies on the Wimbledons.
All right, friends. I would say we're done for the day, but we are not. We're like Bon Jovi. We're halfway there, living on a prayer.
Halfway.
We'll be back at 2 o'clock and do it all over again because Jason and Joe are very lazy. So Rob, Kitty Big Balls, and I will take the wheel coming up at 2.
KTFM Floresville.